Injury Lawyers.
Good morning at 7 a.m. on Thursday, February the 4th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies, the high of 70. Coming up today on Off the Bench, presented by All-Star Toyota, LSU Executive Chef Michael Johnson joins the show at 7:30, answering all your Munchies questions. Get those into the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. Barstool Sports' Ben Mintz stops by at 8 a.m. Canal Street Chronicles' Ross Jackson joins the show at 8:30. The Athletics' Jeff Duncan stops by at 9:30. Follow the show today on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch live at the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel and interact inside the Bayou Ford chat. Make sure you get subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Set your notifications. New content is posted there daily. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome in to this Thursday edition of OTB. T-Bob, Musso, and Danny hanging out with you this morning. Hope you're having an excellent morning this morning. Alexandria, New Orleans, Baton Rouge. If you're watching online from around the world, around the country, welcome. YouTube.com/1045 ESPN. Go ahead and like it, share it, all those other things to please the algorithmic gods that rule our existence. Going to be a fun show today. I say that every day, right? So you're just going to have to trust me on this one. We got some great guests coming up. We got some Saints in the news. Some good basketball. Some bad basketball. A little recruiting as well, which may make you feel good in some ways, may make you feel not so good in others. So maybe it's going to be a mixed bag emotionally, but I hope that you have fun throughout. That's what we want to do, 7 to 10 a.m. Remember, we got Munchies kicking things off at 7:30. LSU Executive Chef Michael Johnson stopping by, answering all of your culinary queries. Oh, I like that. So just put hashtag Munchies in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, and we'll get to that coming up at 7:30. But right now, let's kick off the show like we do every single day with some headlines brought to you by Barbecue Guys.
OTB headlines are brought to you by Barbecue Guys. They are your one-stop shop for everything outdoor kitchens and living. Barbecue Guys, helping America host better barbecues since 1998.
Second signing day came and second signing day went for LSU fans. As a bit of a low-key second signing day yesterday, you knocked in the 2 commits that you expected to get. Remember, we talked to Coach O on Tuesday, felt very good about those 2. And now you have 3 spots remaining to work with in this 2021 class as Savion Jones, defensive end from right here in Louisiana, and Kimo Makianole, an offensive lineman, both added to LSU's class to put them at 22 signees total and rank 4th in the nation in the Go247 composite rankings. That's right. Alabama 1, Ohio State 2, UGA 3, then LSU, and then Clemson rounds out the top 5. Congratulations to LSU, the staff, everybody top to bottom. Recruiting's incredibly tough, incredibly competitive, and yet for the 3rd year in a row, the LSU Tigers have put together a top 5 class under Ed Orgeron. So Coach O continuing to come through on those recruiting promises. The Pelicans had some good news as well last night as they stop a 2-game slide with a 123-101 win over the Phoenix Suns. And let's go ahead and filter this through an overly optimistic lens. Musa, you just kind of did a mind-blowing gesticulation there.
T-Bob, I was going through the TV guide last night after LSU lost to Alabama, and I saw the Pelicans were playing the Suns, and I said,
yeah,
watching that.
Yeah, the Suns had also won 3 in a row coming in last night, but they didn't know that they were running into the buzzsaw that are the New Orleans Pelicans. How about this? Like I said, you want to filter things through an optimistic lens, even with the bad feelings of late? The Pelicans are now 3-2 in their last 5. Huh? How's that for some framing? 3-2 in their last 5, and Zion says he's ready to take it to the next level. Says, quote, I know whatever energy we can get, we need because we need to run off some wins. I feel like I'm improving as the season goes on. The game's getting slower and slower for me. And we can expound on this a bit later, but Zion may be the key to solving the Pelicans' fourth quarter woes. Remember, out of the 20 games this year, the Pelicans have actually had a double-digit lead in 14 of them, okay? So there's some first quarter monsters. They dominate the first quarter. They happen to fall apart at the end. Not last night, as Zion starts the final frame, scoring 7 straight, and eventually forces the Suns to wave the white flag and sub out the starters about halfway through the fourth quarter. Big Z finishes with 28.7 boards and 6 assists. Look, unfortunately, as good as Brandon Ingram is, he's not getting it done in the fourth. That may have to start being Zion's time to take over. It wasn't just offensively, though. Defensively last night, Big Z, excellent as well. One of his best games, in the Pelicans, like I said, stopped the 2-game slide with a 123-101 win. Also, Lonzo Ball, right, up for in a lot of the trade talks. The frustrating part about Lonzo Ball is that if he can ever be consistent when he plays well, the team tends to play well. As Ball in just 24 minutes last night gives you 18 points and 4-7 shooting from 3. If he could be consistent like that, this entire season could potentially feel differently. Unfortunately for LSU basketball fans, they wish that they were feeling a bit differently. As Alabama, for the second time in as many weeks, beats down the Tigers 78-60. The more depressing part is that at least in the first game, right, Alabama made 23 threes, an SEC record, a mathematical anomaly. Like, okay, that could be explained away, kind of hand-waved away. Well, this one cannot. Last night, Alabama makes just 6 threes. In fact, they go 6 of 24, shoot just 25% from beyond the arc. Well, surely that played out well for LSU, right? Right? Wrong. There's no problem because Alabama just said, okay, we're not going to dominate you around the perimeter. We'll dominate you in the paint. They end up out doubling up LSU 52-26 with points in the paint. They kill LSU on the boards 51-35, 17-4. It's second chance points. And it's I don't think ironic is the right word, but it is kind of funny how Coach Wade was talking about how, look, in the first game, we prioritized stopping them inside, wanted them to make shots outside. Alabama did that. This game, they kind of refocused some of those energies back to the perimeter, and Alabama just moves inside. So, like, you see why Coach Wade in that first matchup was wary of them and the work that they could do in the paint. And unfortunately now with these 2 games both in the books, it feels like, you know, this team is obviously just clearly better than you, and by a pretty significant margin as they move to 10-0 in the SEC. It's not going to get any easier for LSU, but with great challenge comes great opportunity, as we always say. And they will play host to number 22 Florida at 1 p.m. this Saturday in the PMAC. Sean Payton has been making the media rounds around the Super Bowl. He was on the Pick 6 podcast talking about when you can maybe expect some Breeze news.
Look, I think that's coming in the next week or two. And last season, he spent a lot of time. You know, there's a wear and tear in these type of years, especially at that position. But I think that's something that within the next week and a half that he's going to address and announce. We've gone through the quarterbacks. Of course, we've read all of those players. Taysom Hill, who's in the building. Jameis, who's now a free agent that we hope to sign here sooner than later. We've got a pretty good vision with those players. But I think within the next week, we'll know a little bit more.
So a couple little delicious nuggets there. First off, saying they want to sign Jameis sooner rather than later, kind of waiting on the Breeze news. But that makes a lot of sense, given that I think the longer Jameis sits out there, the more his price could potentially get driven up. And as far as the timing of the Breeze news, it certainly feels like everybody expects it's going to be a retirement, right? And it certainly feels like he's just kind of waiting to get past the Super Bowl news cycle, have that fresh, unsullied offseason news cycle to dominate and to celebrate the legacy that was Drew Brees. That makes a lot of sense to me on all fronts. Speaking of signing Jameis, here's what Sean Payton had to say to Good Morning Football about his interest level in the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
That's easy. We had a great exposure for 1 year with Jameis Winston. And, you know, we didn't have a normal offseason, but, you know, we had enough time to see what we had with him as a player, as a leader. as an athlete. I really like what we had a chance to see. He was a tremendous leader for this team, and that's hard to do when you come in new in free agency your first year as a backup quarterback. So that'll be, an important check mark for us. And, a lot of times you want to hold your cards closer to the vest, and he is a free agent. Him along with Taysom Hill, who's in the building, we've said it all along, we're going to develop and coach those guys. And Jameis is one of those guys that we have a big interest in.
Yeah, look, they've been pretty consistent all the entire time about liking the Jameis combination. I wonder how much of the glowing Jameis remarks are because they really do view Jameis Winston as the leader in the clubhouse for that quarterback position next year, and then how much of it is the fact that he is a free agent and Taysom Hill's already in the building locked up, kind of like Sean Payton was alluding to right there. We'll continue to try to parse through the bits of information that we get and figure out where that answer lies. Shout out to the LSU women's tennis team as they handed the visiting Tulane Green Wave their first loss of the season with an emphatic 7-0 sweep on Wednesday. That was your writing there, Musso, putting emphatic in there? No, yeah, I know. Shout out LSUsports.net. With the win, LSU moves to 3-0 on the year, while the Green Wave fall to 4-1. Eat it, Tulane! Y'all suck at women's tennis. Well, not really. It sounds like you're pretty good, but LSU still getting the dub. All right, those are your headlines brought to you by Barbecue Guys. Coming up next, we're going to talk some recruiting as LSU knocks it out of the park, but unfortunately, the rich get richer. When you're talking about Alabama, not tight. So we'll get to that next here on Off the Bench.
OTB headlines are presented daily by Barbecue Guys. Remember, the most popular grill on the market is Blaze Grills, premium gas grills that combine expert engineering and dependable performance, all backed by a best-in-class lifetime warranty. Visit barbecueguys.com or our local showroom to learn more about Blaze Grills. Off the Bench with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, listen up. Go to AccuTempBR.com right now and take advantage of this great deal while supplies last. Right now, if you buy a new AC unit from AccuTemp, you will get a furnace for completely free. Again, this deal will not last long, so get on it while you can. Buy that AC unit. The furnace is completely free. The best part, maybe, is that you have 0% interest, 0 payments for 6 months on the AC unit. And really, that sort of deal, that sort of positive customer experience is at the core of AccuTemp. When you think about things like AC, heating, electrical, these are expenses, right? You have to stay on top of these things. They can blow up, become very big problems. So they're expenses. They're things you have to do. AccuTemp wants to turn an expense into an experience, and they do, an incredibly positive one. It's why with over 1,200 Google reviews, they have a 4.9 rating. Go to AccuTempBR.com today.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted.
Yo, join us for a Thursday edition of Hanging with Hester and Haney, presented by Richard Tonda from noon to 3. Billy Embody of Go 247 joins us to recap LSU signing class. We'll also be joined by Hunt Palmer to react to LSU versus Alabama on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN. Shout out to the entire listening air, or if you're joining us around the world online, youtube.com/1045 ESPN. I want to talk recruiting right now, as second signing day took place yesterday, meaning that the full picture of this 2021 class, for the most part, is now clear. Obviously LSU has 3 spots left. I think somebody like Clemson had 6 left. So there are still grad transfers and other spots left in each class to be kind of one of my favorite terms ever from Tolkien when Bilbo Baggins talks about filling in the corners, right? Just getting a little more food in you there to fill in the corners. That's what's left to do. But when you look at yesterday, when it's all said and done after second signing day, LSU turns in its 3rd top 5 class in a row under Ed Orgeron. That is a huge accomplishment. Now, where this is going to get a bit awkward is, like everything else in college football, and especially with LSU, you're going to compare yourself to Alabama. That is a recipe for insanity. And we will get to that, because the bottom line is that not only are you not on Alabama's level of recruiting, there is literally no one on Alabama's level of recruiting. In fact, there has been no one all time on Alabama's level of recruiting when you look at this class. So we'll get to that. But first, I do want to focus in on what LSU did, because like I said, I think there's that temptation to be overly negative about this class because of how it rates or compares relative to who you view as your arch rival. So 3rd top 10, 3rd top 5 class in a row under Ed Orgeron. To me, that is a fulfillment of the Ed O recruiting promise, right? And we've always said that if you're in the top 5, really, what's the difference between 3 and 2? Between 4 and 1, there's a difference, but it's pretty negligible, right? That may not exactly be the case this year, but if you're in the top 5, you're still championship relevant. Don't take my word for it. Let's just look at the top 11 teams here. Bama, Ohio State, Georgia, LSU, Clemson, Oregon, Texas A&M, USC, Notre Dame, Michigan. Okay, Harbaugh, see that extension. And then Oklahoma, checking in at number 11. These are the most relevant teams in college football for a reason. Year in and year out, the bottom line is that they just bring in the most talent. And so it makes sense. So, there's a reason why every team that I just mentioned, if you're looking around the country at the Power 5, there's a reason why those are all the teams that are vying for the Power 5 championships, because they just have the best players. It's not that hard to wrap your head around, right? And so you cannot fall off on recruiting, and LSU has not. Again, yes, Bama's on another level, but you can't be dismissive of what LSU has done here. And when you look at having 3 top 5 classes in a row, I think it's one of the reasons why these new coaches, Durante Jones, Blake Baker, Andre Carter, Jake Peets, DJ Mangus, it's one of the reasons why they should be so excited. Regardless of the 5-5 record last year, if you have 3 top 5 classes in a row, you have the talent to be championship relevant. I'm not saying you're going to win a championship, but you should vie for them, okay? New Year's 6. It's why when I look at this LSU schedule, if you want to tell me that 10-2 is the expectation, should be the expectation, I would fall right in line with that and agree with that. There's the kind of hedging the bet side of me that always wants to err on the side of maybe being a bit more conservative with predictions. And so 9-3 is probably the easy way out. Makes the most sense if you want to allow yourself room for error. But if you want to hold this program to a standard that you arguably should, especially with those top 3 classes, and 10-2, that feels like the goal. And it's because of the players that you have. And look, while this LSU class isn't the greatest from an O-line standpoint, you did mitigate that damage by getting Machianole to join before second signing day. Also, by getting the entire O-line to return. And now when you look at the 2022 O-line, you feel like you're going to get a lot of juice there. So the O-line is probably the weakest portion of this class, but the running back room that is coming in is absolutely elite. And that adds to a group that is already elite. I mean, that already has the potential, I should say, to be very good with TDP and John Emery and company. You add to a wide receiver room that is now just overwhelming. The cup runneth over with wide receiver talent at LSU right now, and you potentially add Brian Thomas Jr. to that. He did not sign yesterday, so that's an ongoing saga that I'll kind of keep an eye on over the next few weeks. But the group that I really want to focus in on talk about here is the defensive line. Because when you think about the most championship relevant teams at LSU, when you think about the best teams at LSU, where do you go back to? You go back to the defensive line, right? It kind of all traces back in my mind. Well, I mean, if you want to go all the way back, like Chad Lavallee in 03, I think, along with like Marcus Spears and company, imprinted on a lot of young kids my age. I'm about to be 32 here in a week. You could even then fast forward to like Glenn Dorsey and those 2007 lines with Tyson Jackson and Kiki Pittman. And then you go a bit further and you get into the Michael Brockers, Kiki Mingo, Sam Montgomery defensive lines, Benny Logan, my guy Smoke. And so for a while there, when LSU was vying for national championships, one in every 4 years, the defensive line was at the heart of the success. And then for whatever reason, in the kind of post-Brockers age, you started to fall off a bit to where, when was the low point? And this is getting very in the weeds for, the hardcore LSU fans. The low point was probably that one Florida game where I think Christian Lacouture and company had to play about 90-something% of the snaps. You had pretty good talent, I guess, but you had no depth whatsoever. And then it's been a slow, long haul to get back to that elite level. And then you even hit a bit of a speed bump switching from the 3-man front to the 4-man front where you lost guys like Tyler Shelvin and you lost Apu Ika. But it looks like you're finally back to that championship level defensive line. I mean, right? So you add to a line that already has everyone returning and has a lot of strengths to begin with, right? I love Neil Farrell and Glenn Logan in the middle coming back for another senior year. That experience will be critical. Jaquelin Roy really turned a corner against Florida, and he carried that through to Ole Miss. I think he's going to carry that through to next year, expecting big things from Jaquelin Roy. Ali Gay got better and better and better as the season went on. He struggled in run support early on. How'd he end the year? Forcing a fumble with perfect technique on a run play to win you the Ole Miss game, right? And we all know what he can do pass rushing. We all know what B.J. Ojulari can do pass rushing off of the edge. You still have those potential guys like Jacoby and Guillory in that mix as well. So you had a lot of talent to begin with on that defensive line, and now you add Mason Smith, who feels like that Glenn Dorsey type of character, that can come in there and be impactful from day one and go on to truly dominate by year 3. And then you had 3 4-star defensive ends in Landon Jackson, Bryce Langston, and Savion Jones. So, again, this looks like a return to the lines of yore. And what better position group is LSU better positioned to have great success with? I mean, this is what Ed Orgeron does. For all the talk of his resume when he got the job at LSU, the head coaching portion of it was what it was. But I think he had like 10 first-round defensive linemen that he had coached and developed or something along those lines. And now you add Andre Carter to the mix, a guy who did it for 13 years at the NFL level, especially when it comes to the pass rush, the techniques, and a guy who has 80 sacks on the NFL level. Things that he can teach Ali Gay, B.J. Ojulari, Andre Anthony, these 3 new defensive ends. So, yeah, this LSU defense, especially if you can get the back end fixed, which I expect under Durante Jones this year, this LSU defense could get back to be not just good, but great, be one of the top units in the country, especially when it comes to causing havoc. So a great class in the trenches on that side of the ball, and a great class overall. Now, unfortunately, on the other side of the docket, the rich have only gotten richer. I was going to play part of the Saban pitch here. I don't think we need to, Moose. We've gone a bit long-winded. I think everybody probably heard it. But Alabama, again, finishes with the number 1 class of recruiting. I don't know if many of you realize this. They also literally finished with the number 1 class in modern recruiting history. Now, if we want to go out of our way to try to tarnish that, the class they beat was 2010 Florida. Will Muschamp did nothing with 2010 Florida. I don't know that we can expect the same failure out of Nick Saban, unfortunately. But for what it's worth, 2010 Florida was the previous greatest class, right? So these ratings don't always mean everything, I guess. But in the 247 ratings, Bama has 7 5-stars, including 2 offensive tackles that rank 2nd and 5th overall for all players. They have 2 5-star defensive linemen that are top 25 overall. Out of the top 60 recruits, Bama got 11 of them. What kind of sense does that make? 11 of the top 60. They have 16 4-stars. So, yeah, look, I get it. It's hard to not feel a bit disheartened by all of this as the gap only continues to widen between Saban and the rest of college football. Musso, you gave me a couple little things to add a little spice to the mix. The defensive recruits alone, you said, would rank 9th in the country if you were to have them as a class?
That's Brian Fisher tweeted that out yesterday. And then the offenses, so 9th alone just for defensive recruits, which is absurd. And then their offensive recruits would rank 14th. If they were their own class, that would be the number 14 class in the country.
Well.
Which is also absurd.
Yeah, look, this goes back to the self-feeding, self-sustaining, perpetual motion machine of success that Alabama has created. Championships make it easier to recruit better players make it easier to win championships. So then how do you beat them? Because it doesn't seem like you're going to be able to beat them year in and year out, right? You got to beat them when you can. You got to take your opportunities. And what's it going to take? On top of being very good everywhere, it's going to take a transcendent type of quarterback. And if you look to this year, look, when we went through the schedule, I have it chalked up as a loss, but LSU's maybe got a little hope in that regard. There's going to be some turnover on Alabama, though I think offensively they could get even better post-Mac Jones, which is kind of scary. But LSU has a quarterback room that I like better than I have in years. But, yeah, I don't know, man. Unfortunately for me, this just kind of drives home that if you're going to constantly compare yourself relative to Alabama, I feel like it's just a recipe for insanity. Like you're never going to be happy. You're never going to be pleased. And then the extra crap in your spice is the fact that it comes on the same day that Alabama beats your ass in basketball once again. Rising tide rises all ships, I guess, or whatever they say. So I say that not to discourage you. I say that to let's just be real and objective about the situation, okay? Alabama continues to outclips just everybody But that does not take away from the excellent job that LSU has done turning in their third top 5 class in a row, a class that should at least make you championship relevant going forward. All right, with us going forward, let's get away from all this depressing Bama garbage, and let's look to the table, to the food table, as Executive Chef Michael Johnson stops by, answers all your Munchies questions. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, and 94.7 ESPN.
Off the Bench.
Go to centralplumbing.org. That's centralplumbing.org. 925-8552 is the number. Again, put that in your phone, 925-8552. If you have any plumbing issues, they solve all your issues, right? It doesn't matter what it may be. Now, maybe you're a do-it-yourselfer. That's fine. They got Central Plumb It Yourself. If you go into the showroom, they got all the parts you could potentially need. Maybe you're not a do-it-yourselfer, but you want to be, okay? I do this a lot, too. I watch a YouTube video, try to figure things out. When I have done that with plumbing, I have always consistently made things worse. And so now I don't. I mean, every single time I have an issue, I just call Central Plumbing, 925-8552, flat rate pricing, so I don't get hit with any surprise fees, licensed, bond, insured, so I can trust the work, a great warranty after the work is done, so I have peace of mind. And then the bottom line is I don't lift a finger and my problems are solved. Simple, complex, old, new. They've been at it for 40 years. They've seen it all. They can fix it all. Go to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
Tune in Sunday for live play-by-play of Super Bowl 55 when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers face the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. Coverage starts at 1 and kickoff is at 5:30. Your home for the NFL and Super Bowl 55 is 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only, subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We got a full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier previewing Super Bowl 55. Join us 3 to 6 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Chef Michael Johnson is back on OTB, brought to you by Barbecue Guys. Barbecue Guys is your one-stop shop for everything outdoor kitchens and living. Send your questions into the Bayou Ford YouTube chat using the hashtag Munchies.
Wow, we got big voice guys saying Munchies now. Look at us. We're moving on up in the world. Hopefully you got the Munchies this morning, as we're going to break it down right now with Executive Chef Michael Johnson, my main man. Chef, what's going on? How you doing this morning?
Morning, T-Bob. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Let's go ahead and dive in. Muso, give me some music here. Hashtag Munchies. Simple recipes with egg as the main ingredient. Go.
I like hollandaise, which is pretty simple, and mayonnaise, or aioli more so. I don't know if you're looking for cooked eggs or other ways, but a chef prides himself on how many egg dishes they can, and hollandaise and aioli are two of my favorites. They offer substance to another dish, and of course, like an omelet is something that's great. My kids eat a lot of deviled eggs. I don't know how many dishes you want me to list off, but.
Yeah, I think you do. I think that sounds perfect. Hashtag Munchies. Have you ever had cucamelons? There's been a lot of cucamelon talk on the show lately.
I'm not familiar with it at all. What is it?
They look like miniature little watermelons. Little research for you.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I have. Yeah. You know what? We got some in from a farm out of La Rondre last year. They're little cucumber melons. Yeah.
Do you serve, hashtag Munchies, do you serve the athletes red beets, and why?
We do, and it just has to do with variety of color and stuff. Like different color vegetables offer different types of nutrients in the body, and if you're eating the same color vegetables every day, you're depleting yourself of other nutrients that are necessary, for your body to function properly.
Hashtag Munchies. Can you explain to us what the hell is in Subway tuna if it's not fish?
That I don't know, brother. I'm just catching one of this myself. We had a conversation about it the other day, and I've been eating Subway tuna, and I really don't want to think about what it is, to be honest with you.
Chef? Why have you been eating Subway tuna?
Out of necessity, it's one of those things where you're on the road and you're like, okay, we're going to stop, and I don't want McDonald's.
Yeah, but what's wrong with a little cold cut, little turkey sub or something? Why the tuna? The fish seems a little aggressive.
Sandwich. I used to eat the club, and they got rid of it. No roast beef anymore.
Wow. Misstep after misstep. This is a bit like a few years ago when Taco Bell had to come out and said that, that their beef didn't actually legally qualify as beef. Didn't have enough beef in it.
Cutter canner or something like that, or textured vegetable protein,
Hashtag Munchies. Do you make tuna fish sandwiches, and what are the ingredients?
I like to put capers in my tuna fish, and first I start off with buying sustainable species tuna, stuff that doesn't have byproduct or bycatch in it. I like just a touch of mayonnaise and Creole mustard. I put candied jalapenos in my tuna. Yeah, it offers a little bite and sweetness instead of just putting regular relish in it, and I prefer it on a melt. My mom used to make me melts when I was a kid, and that's kind of the way I go with them now. I put it on a piece of Texas toast and melt some cheese on it, and then a tomato, and warm it up just a touch. Not to heat the tuna, but to melt the cheese. So.
Yeah, that's a delicate balance, right? Not heating the tuna, but managing to melt the cheese. Hashtag Munchies. Best food to have during the Super Bowl.
I like free food. It tastes good. I would say free food tastes better. No, I'm a big fan of wings. You know that. And people would not like it at my house because I eat cold chicken wings, but I'm not a fan of the beanie weenies or anything like that. I like queso and simple things, but I like to spice it up and put chopped cilantro, and we talked about the embellishments or the garnishes, and I think that's where the money is. If you put wings up, put something on top of them, like some Parmesan or something, just to nail it in a little bit farther.
So if you're making wings, Chef, like if you're making wings, we're going to watch the Super Bowl together. How are you making those wings? What's that process look like?
Well, first I'm going to brine them overnight, right? So that they're when you fry them, because we're going to fry them, they hold their moisture, and I might bake them just a little bit to plump them up, or just slightly, but ultimately they're going in the fryer, right? Like I like naked wings. I don't like them battered or floured or anything like that. I just like a naked wing, and I like a chili garlic sauce mixed in with some butter, and then you finish that with some Parmesan or some pecorino or something on top of it. I don't know, all that just sounds good right now.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. You mentioned queso, and there is a debate going on in the huddle right now, or in the chat right now, Chef. And I'm guessing you guess what it is. Yellow queso versus white queso. Where do you stand?
Gosh, at one point I was a yellow queso guy, but I'm a white queso guy now. And I guess it's just because it reminds me of cream or milk, and I don't know. I never really cared for the yellow side of cheese. It's just kind of, it's like having blue on your plate. Is it really blue, or what's going on with it? I like the white queso, and I like to put ground sausage or chorizo in, spice it up a little bit, and some chili peppers sauteed and put in there. And,
hell yeah.
It needs to have some depth, not just melted cheese and salsa.
It's that silky smooth. I don't know what the texture is, but that silky smooth white queso.
Yeah, I have some in my fridge right now.
So, Chef, our secret agent informant friend here has sent me a couple of questions. With Valentine's Day around the corner, he wants to know if the front of the house, a.k.a. the waitstaff, is a good place to look for a life partner.
I'm going on the record.
He finishes this with, "It cost us both."
I met my ex-wife in the restaurant business, so I can't say that I haven't ever done that. But nowadays, I tend to take my romance outside of the restaurant.
Be careful mixing business with pleasure, my friends.
Yes.
It's a story as old as time.
Yes.
Okay, and then he also wants to know, when you bring your kids to the fish camp, do they have to eat Clint's frozen leftovers as well, or do you feed them food that can actually be identified?
It just depends on how they're acting that day, to be honest with you. Like if they're good, we'll feed them fresh food. If not, they're going to have to eat all the Clint's cooking.
Hashtag Munchies. What are the 3 main entrees most requested by the athletes?
Well, we don't serve them fried foods terribly often, and so it's always, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be fried chicken or fried shrimp or something like that. We do serve it, once a week, but not on a constant basis. So that the fried foods is always up there. We get a lot of requests for lasagna, something like that, and then more recently, like we reached out to kids and their families and start getting recipes for Taste of Home again, and so. That's one that they really enjoy, is the Taste of Home, where we bring something in from outside. How
did Tuesday's Taste of Home go?
It was the busiest night that we've had in a long time. Everybody showed up in droves, and the dishes looked good. The team got excited. Like the culinary team gets excited, or the nutrition center team rather. And in that, I think the student athletes get excited. They like the food, and it's one of those days that we really bear down and put a lot. Extra energy into the food, and that's one of the days that I get in there and cook myself, most of the day, and everybody enjoys it. It's always a celebration.
Yeah, a little Texas celebration on Tuesday. A little braised bison short rib was one of the things on the menu. Like, where the hell were you when I was in college? Talking to Executive Chef Michael Johnson. Is there a difference between the major players in the catch-up game?
I think so. Some of the cheaper ones that are lower end, they use like emulsifiers and nonsense. And I think that there's better quality ingredients, some of the higher end. But there's also like a couple of brand names out there that are basically produced in the same plant and given different labels and sold for different prices. So it's strange that wholesale or that retail market, how things work.
So what's the premier ketchup?
What's that?
What's the premier ketchup? What ketchup does the chef buy?
If it says catsup on it, I'm not buying it.
That's fair.
It's got to say ketchup.
Hashtag Munchies. Danny, this comes from you. I'm probably going to blow this pronunciation. Have you ever made flan or Yarakala? What are we looking at, Danny? Yarakaya?
Herikaya.
Okay, it was close. It's pretty close. Have you ever made a
Flan,
chef?
yeah. A flan I have, yeah. I'm not familiar with the term Yarakaya, but flan we've made before, yeah.
Hashtag Munchies. Explain imitation crab meat to me like I'm a 6-year-old.
Well, you take it's usually used from pollock, which is a ocean-going fish, and they take it and compress it and put a little bit of false food coloring on the outside and paint it, and it's actually fish meat. And then it's pressed into logs and then cut, and
That sounds horrible.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, that sounds really unappetizing. Okay, last one here, Chef. Hashtag Munchies. Scott Dice asks, I'm cooking red beans tomorrow and was wondering what spices you prefer in your red beans.
Spices, I just go with the regular stuff, like garlic, and I have some stuff like leaf powder and black garlic powder that I use, which, you can find in the market. But one of the things I do with my red beans, I finish it off with a little red wine vinegar at the end to kind of brighten it up a little bit. The acidity from it opens up. If you're cooking your beans slow and low and you don't puree them, you just let them cream naturally, that there's a thickness and a heaviness to your palate. And I like to put a little red wine vinegar in there it helps brighten it up and cleanse your palate in the taste. And that's because I cook mine with sausage, and that just makes it fattier, right? So you need something to cut through that fat and cleanse your palate.
Hell yes. Chef Michael Johnson, executive chef for LSU. Thank you so much for stopping by. Another great Munchies segment. All right, coming up next, we will close out hour number 1. We got some excellent Jameis Winston sound that we can play for you, and then we'll get ready for hour number 2. Ben Mintz going to come by and celebrate a big milestone to kick off hour 2. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, and 94.7 ESPN.
Off the Bench.
Go to GoRoof.com. That's
Weekly New Orleans.
UXRoof.com, 927-8300, 927-8300. Look, when you work with Go Roof, off the bat, you're going to get a free professional estimate. That's right, free. So they come out to your home for free, let you know exactly where you stand. You make an informed decision. Then the work begins. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, right? So they stand by the quality of the work. But if you want to know the extent of which that they do, how does a 2-year workmanship guarantee sound on top of the manufacturer warranty? Okay, so again, free professional estimate before, licensed, bond, insured during, 2-year workmanship guarantee afterwards on top of the warranty. That's confidence in the product before, during, and after, okay? That's what Go Roof represents. When you work with Go Roof, you will get a beautiful new roof every single time. So call 927-8300. When they answer the phone, hit them with the roof's up. And it's not just residential, commercial as well. GoRoof.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Join us for a Thursday edition of Jimmy Yacht's Game Time, live from Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. We recap LSU versus Alabama in basketball and look ahead to the Super Bowl on Sunday with some more prop bets. Tune in at 6 p.m., 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back. OTB, T-Bob Musso, and Danny hanging out with you. A lot of wing talk going on right now in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. I know it's basically, I don't know. I know this is chalk, but I think my favorite wings are Hooters breaded wings. I mean, I'm not chalk. I know that it's like not like a very fancy opinion, right? I feel like my taste should be more refined, but I can't help it. Maybe it's just a fat kid in me. I am a sucker for overly breaded fried wings, and them things come fried up and breaded up. But. And somebody in the chat said, look, I agree. I love Hooters wings as well, right? But I don't like when they get waitered or whatever, DoorDash, like whatever, like one of those food delivery services. It's just not good. Here's my stand on those food delivery services, and let's see if you can change my mind, Moose or Danny, if y'all feel differently. I don't know that any food is good being delivered by them, because I think if a food is not delivered normally, it is not supposed to be delivered. Like, what holds well that you order from these places? If you order a burger, it shows up soggy. If you order fries, they lose everything and they become that horrible cold fry mixture. Now, you can throw them in a pan with some oil and crisp them back up, which actually does make them quite good. But then you're engaging in a bit of work there. Like, I just don't know that I've ever had a food delivered that I have actually been pleased with. Fajitas, delicious, but cold. By the time they get there, it just doesn't work.
First, never take fajitas to go. That's a terrible idea.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, they literally come out on like a steaming cast iron plate.
That is what you eat in the restaurant and only in the restaurant.
Okay, so then give me a good food that can be waitered. That's not pizza, which is already delivered, Chinese, which is already delivered.
Well, that was going to be my next.
Already delivered.
Well, some Chinese places deliver.
There's
not too many around here that do.
Okay, if I was going to argue against myself here, I think that sushi probably plays.
That would probably
something that doesn't need to be served warm, and when it gets
is that delivered? Is that delivered by some people?
Through the apps, through these food delivery apps, right? So, like, what food is not normally delivered that these places get delivered that is good? And sushi is the only one that I could think of. Okay, a lot of people saying barbecue. I could see barbecue holding up. The taste is still going to be delicious. It's going to be cold, so it's going to be a bit different.
Ribs
in that regard.
The taste would hold in ribs.
The taste would definitely hold in ribs. Kyle Aycock says Indian food is fine delivered as well. You know, that is the biggest.
I think that's delivered by some places though already.
That is the biggest culinary blind spot that I have. is Indian food. I don't have a lot of experience with curry. I don't really even know any other traditional Indian food, so maybe that's on me for not knowing. Emil McClellan, T-Bob's favorite Chinese place in BR is secretly a drug front. I don't know what you're talking about. But I do definitely have a favorite place. But now I don't want to mention their name right after that because then people are going to
don't do that.
think that I'm going to say that they are
don't do that.
secretly a drug front, which is not true. Any pasta being delivered? I don't.
No, that could work. It depending on the sauce you have on there, though, it might get a little sticky.
I mean, I'm a fat kid, so I'll eat anything cold. And Chef Michael Johnson has kind of brought me around to the idea that look, eating a food cold is almost like eating a new food. So sure, like I'll eat the pasta, but I still, with the additional cost of the delivery charge and everything else, I still don't know that it's actually worth it. The food is good. I don't care where it comes from. Bailey was pretty good for Indian food. Okay, I'll have to check it out. I don't know. This is just something that I've always thought about. I'm not a big delivery app guy. Also, we had to fill time there because I didn't want to get into the James Winston sound when we were up against the clock. So we will save that for 8:15. Coming up at 8, Ben Mintz going to stop by, talk a little Super Bowl, a little gambling, a little Barstool, and celebrate a huge personal milestone. So stick around. Here on Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN, burritos delivered. Okay. I don't know, dude. I'm kind of down for that. It kind of makes sense to me, actually. We'll be back with more next hour.
Off the Bench.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st. 2021.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
Happy New Year from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a new Camry for $335 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Thursday, February the 4th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 70. If you missed hour one of the show, catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Still to come on Off the Bench, Barstool Mintz joins the show next. Canal Street Chronicles Ross Jackson stops by at 8:30. The Athletics' Jeff Duncan joins the show at 9:30 to talk Saints. Follow the show today on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch live at 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. Interact inside the Bayou Ford chat. Make sure you get subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Set your notifications. New content is posted there daily. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome in hour number 2, OTB. Bob, Musso, and Danny hanging out with you today. OT Bob, how did I never hit that before this second when I've said OTB about 7,000 times? OT Bob, right? I mean, like it was right there in front of me this entire time, and I finally found my way. I was God blessed the broken path that led me here to you. Shout out Rascal Flatts. I guess. I have no real passion for Rascal Flatts.
That is a Rascal Flatts song.
Yeah, that is, right? I am right.
I think it's God Bless the Broken Road, though, not Path. But, you know.
I don't know that it matters. Do we have Minty on the phone?
We do have Minty on the phone.
Well, let's go to the phone then. So I'm about to be celebrating a milestone. I'm about to be 32 here in a few days. It's crazy to think about. Ben Mintz is celebrating a milestone as well up in New York City, a snowy New York City. Mincy, I've seen a lot of videos. The city maybe got a little juice playing in the snow, coming back to life a little bit. How is the Big Apple?
Oh, man. Well, I hear y'all talking about the broken road or broken path. I feel like I know a little bit about that. But no, New York's good right now. I mean, we got hit with a huge blizzard Monday and Tuesday. Kind of a new world for me on that. But really, I got some snow boots. It hasn't been that bad. It wasn't too bad. Weather's getting better now. The snow's getting out. Man, I got to say, T-Bob, I'm getting excited about the Super Bowl on Sunday.
Yeah, I cannot wait for the Super Bowl on Sunday. We'll break that down as well. But first, Mincy, yesterday you were talking about. Look, if you've listened to this show with Nick with Ben over the last few years, then you know, like he just said, the kind of journey that he's been on, right? From when we first started working together, and the full degeneracy was in effect, to now this new healthy lifestyle, working out, losing weight, no alcohol for what, almost a year now, Ben?
Yeah, like 9.5 months.
9.5 months, man. Incredible. And then a little doctor's visit yesterday. You got some great news, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. It was just funny. I had to go take a COVID test for work, and so they, take your blood pressure. And, the doctor looks at me and says, we just need to bottle this because it's so perfect. I just started laughing so hard.
Wow.
Yeah, I was 310 pounds 10 months ago. So, I'm very happy about that. It's very gratifying, to be honest, T-Bob, to see, I put a lot into this. And, I still enjoy life as much as I did, in the past, or even more, to be honest. But, it's awesome to see the results, man. It's cool. And, I got a long way to go. Let's not even remotely say I'm out of the woods, but I think I got the right attitude on it. But it's just cool to see, I put a lot into it for a year, and hearing that kind of news is great.
I don't think, Ben, I think if you were to talk to the people who probably knew you 5 years ago, 2 years ago, I don't think too many would have had money on a doctor telling you that your blood pressure was so perfect that it should be bottled. So congratulations, man. That's incredible. That's incredibly gratifying for the journey I think that you've been on, man, and it's awesome. Y'all are doing a weight loss competition or something right now at Barstool?
Yeah, well, it's just like this Whoop challenge where, I'm on the team that's cutting weight with Big Cat the captain, and we're up against a team that's trying to gain weight that is a lot smaller people. But it's going well so far, man. We turned our old office, which is about 5 blocks from the new one, into a gym, and so it's kind of nice because I'm going in there and working out now and not having to go to like a big public gym during COVID. So, yeah, man, it's going good. And, enjoying it, taking advantage of that. And honestly, T-Bob, with COVID going on, man, I live a pretty sheltered life up here. I go to work. I hang out in the office a lot. I go to the gym. I get to-go food. I go home. And that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, and I see you at work constantly, dude. It seems like you're just always pumping out content up there at Barstool 24/7. Speaking of your partner in crime, Playboy Marty, last night, Pelicans Suns. Marty's brother is what with the Phoenix Suns again?
He helps run their communication. He like runs their press conferences, and I think his title's like the director of communication or something.
So how did Marty handle the beatdown last night? Look, we're going to be overly optimistic here, Ben. If you want to see a little Pelicans spin zone, look at the last 5 games. Pelicans 3-2 in their last 5.
Well, it's funny. So we had like the house of Airbnb divided, and I posted a video last night on Twitter. Marty said no mas the 6-minute mark of the fourth quarter and threw in the white flag, and I posted a video of it, giving him some crap. But I got to say, man, I know the Pelicans have been maddeningly inconsistent, but Zion's not the problem. He looked awesome last night.
Yeah.
I thought he's been looking really good lately. It's the guard play has been so inconsistent. They don't really have a 2-guard on the roster, it doesn't seem like sometimes. But, man, I love the way Zion played, and I know they've been inconsistent. That Kings loss was horrible the other night, but it seems like they play up and down to competition. I mean, you look at a 4-game homestand, they beat the Bucks and Suns, and then they lose the Rockets and Kings. It's kind of hard to know what you're getting on a nightly basis. But, know, T-Bob, you actually said something to me last week. You said, look, the NBA is a long-run sport. Don't get into all this panicking early. And, I'm trying to look at it that way because it has been a little frustrating to watch it.
I may be going against what I said a little bit because we are 25% into the season now, and unfortunately, the Pelicans look like one of the worst teams in the NBA. And then there's a game like last night, Ben, that just caused you to be like, oh, wait, no, they're actually good. But I think you hit the nail on the head. Absolutely. I think that, look, if they're going to continue this, I think Zion has to step up in the fourth quarter. For whatever reason, Brandon Ingram's just bad in the fourth. Like, until he gets that fixed, somebody else is going to have to. But really, it's the guards. When Lonzo Ball and Eric Bledsoe play well, they win. When they don't, they lose. And they've just been way, way, way too up and down this year. So that's a little on the NBA front, Benny. But what about the Super Bowl this Sunday, dude? Mahomes versus Brady. Probably the best quarterback matchup of our lives. The only guy in Patrick Mahomes that seems like he would even have a reasonable chance of challenging the legacy that Tom Brady has built. What has you most excited about Sunday's game?
Man, look, I feel like it's the passing of the torch Super Bowl from Brady, who's been, the longevity and everything he's done, to Mahomes' future of the NFL. And I think that's the storyline that's coming here. And I know Brady's been phenomenal getting him to the Super Bowl, and he did go to the Superdome and beat Breeze and went to Lambeau and beat Rodgers. But I think Mahomes is on a different level than anybody. And, I know that's no surprise to anybody that listens to me, but if Tampa wins this, I'm going to be very surprised. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just don't know how you're supposed to attack this Chiefs defense and again, or these Chiefs offense and again, if anybody can. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think I know how. The question is, will it be enough, right? Like, if you want to fight against the Chiefs offense, you have to try to make them beat you with like death by 1,000 cuts, right? Try to limit the big plays, force them underneath, and then you got to be able to run the ball offensively and just keep the ball out of Pat Mahomes' hands. Leonard Fournette, Ben, has been really solid this playoffs, and he's kind of done just that. I mean, what kind of role do you see Fournette playing on Sunday?
A big one. I've been betting the over on his rushing yards in all these games.
Okay.
He looks fresh. They didn't overuse him during the year. I do think they've got to be balanced because KC's got an elite pass defense. I mean, I don't think KC's pass defense gets as much credit as they deserve. We saw what they did to Josh Allen. Brady's always struggled a little bit with pressure from the interior, so they better block Chris Jones because he could cause some big problems for Tampa in this game coming from that defensive tackle position. But I think Fournette's going to run the ball a good bit. He's looked a lot better than Ronald Jones in the playoffs. And I think that if Tampa's going to have a chance in this game, he's got to be a big part of it.
Ben, what goes on at Barstool on Super Bowl Sunday? What do y'all got on the docket? What are you going to be getting up to?
Well, so we've got streams going on. First of all, we got Rough and Rowdy on Friday where Billy Football's fighting Jose Canseco.
Yeah, like what, dude? I mean.
Oh, it's hilarious. You ever been following it on the hashtag Pray for Jose's out there? Oh,
I know. Okay, but be honest. Are you worried for Billy a little bit? I mean, bro, you're
Billy
talking
seems
about.
like a pretty tough dude.
He seems like a
really
tough dude, but you're talking about one of the Bash brothers, dude. Have you seen Canseco? He's still huge. He's roided up.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm luckily not stepping in the ring with Jose Canseco myself, thankfully. So we're doing that, and then Sunday there's streams in Detroit and in Philly because obviously we opened the Michigan gambling thing in the last couple of weeks. I think Dave's running the Detroit one and Big Cat's running the Philly one. To be honest, I'm not even really sure where I'm headed yet, but I'm sure I'll find out the next day or two.
That's so wild. So you just kind of wait and get the call, and then go wherever you're needed.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it regardless. Wherever I watch the game, I'm looking forward to seeing Patrick Mahomes hopefully win a second Super Bowl. And also, got to mention, I know y'all are covering it, but man, what a day for Louisiana it's going to be. I mean, the Louisiana influence on both these teams. I mean, you look at the Chiefs with 3 LSU running backs playing in the Super Bowl, and then also the Chiefs have a rookie from Louisiana Tech, L'Jarius Sneed, who's had a great year as a safety, 4th-round pick out of Minden.
Yeah, Jeff Duncan laid it all out, and it goes beyond just the 6 LSU players. Yeah, there's I think 10 or 11 players that are either from Louisiana or played their college ball in Louisiana. So it is all over the place.
Yeah, it's cool to see. And look, y'all know that follow me at Barstool. I mean, I got hired as the other Mississippi guy, and I'm obviously a diehard Ole Miss fan, but I'll always represent and support Louisiana up there, and I'm getting a lot of support on their front. So
well, hey, how about this?
Playing that up this week.
You know the 318 better than just about anyone. You know anything about this tackle from Neville, this Will Campbell cat? You heard anything about him?
Oh yeah. He's going to be awesome. And he's from. I mean, I knew his family a little bit growing up in Monroe. He's very athletic. I've seen I haven't watched him play live, but I've seen tape, and he seems like a can't miss prospect, and he's got a great attitude. And, I really don't see a negative here. I'm very happy for him and look forward to following him at LSU. And there's a lot of tradition. That Neville is such a great tradition in the Monroe area. Obviously, West Monroe does too. But there's a long lineage of Neville people going, Neville to LSU being a thing. And I can't wait to follow Will Campbell. And also on the recruiting front, Ole Miss got a huge the number 5 defensive tackle committed to Ole Miss yesterday from New Jersey, beating out A&M. And T-Bob, football, obviously. It's one thing to have a gadget offense that scores tons of points, but when you start getting elite defensive linemen on there in the SEC is when you actually have a chance if you're a school like Ole Miss.
Wow, whatever happened to Kimdichie?
Yeah, he didn't care. Man, the stuff I heard about Kimdichie, he just didn't want. You know how football is. He just didn't want it, man.
Yeah.
I don't think he loves football. And it's one of those things where you can have all the talent in the world. If you don't love and breathe football, it's tough.
Okay, Bo Wilson in the Byford YouTube chat wants to know, ask Ben, can we get a good prop bet for Sunday? Again, last year, Ben helped me turn $25 into a double bob stroller, which completely changed my life. It's the best stroller, best kid thing that I think I've ever bought. Ben, where's your prop head at for Sunday?
Man, you mentioned Fournette is over under in rushing yards 48. I think he gets over that. That's one I like. Also, I like Tom Brady under 301 yards passing. I think that's too high with the KC defense. You look at Brady having 199 yards against New Orleans 2 weeks ago and threw 3 picks in the second half against Green Bay. I don't know. I think that one's too high. I'm looking at all the Chiefs receiver props. The thing is, Tyreek Hill had 200 yards in the first quarter of the game against Tampa earlier this year. I feel like everybody's going to be on him. I kind of think some of the other receivers could do well, including McCole Hardman and even Sammy Watkins if he goes on Sunday, which it looks like he is. You know, I think Mahomes is going to tear these guys up. The biggest thing is Andy Reid's got to get the ball out of Mahomes' hand quickly like they did against Buffalo, because Tampa does have a really good pass rush. So if there's one concern, it's that with Eric Fisher out. But I think the Chiefs are going to hammer them. And another prop, I think Chiefs minus 13 or 14 or more maybe at 3-1. I mean, I think the Chiefs can win this by 2 or 3 touchdowns. It wouldn't surprise me.
Damn, Mintzy calling his shot. But it sounds like you think Fournette over is the best play out of all those? I'll go through it a little more before the Gen Dome segment tomorrow. Yeah.
But I do like the because the only thing about the Fournette over is if Tampa gets down early, they might have to abandon the run, which would hurt it. But I'd really like the unders on Brady and a lot of the Tampa Bay guys. I really think that it's harder to throw against Tampa. I think against KC, the people are giving credit for.
There you go. Ben Mintz checking in from New York City. Be back tomorrow for the final week of the Degeneration Dome, which, by the way, basically everyone is tied for first place heading into the Degen Dome. Massive bragging rights on the line, and probably the worst gambling segment on radio in the country. Ben Mintz at Barstool Mintzy on Twitter. Go check him out at barstoolsports.com. Mintzy, thank you so much, man.
Oh, always great. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Take it easy, and congrats on the good news. All right, when we get back, I want to talk Super Bowl, talk keys to win, get to that Jameis Winston next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Go to DonaldSoGlassandBody.com today. Donaldson Glass and Body. Shout out to one of our good friends and sometimes fill-in host on this show, our guy Troy LaBeouf. Happy birthday to Harrison LaBeouf. Turns 11 years old today. And Troy and Harrison, they love the guys and gals over there at Donaldson Glass and Body, just like I love the guys and gals over there at Donaldson Glass and Body, and you will love them too. Look, if you need glass repair, that's how they got their start. They're right there. It's right there in the name. You're not going to get, look, you want to go with the national guys in a van, you're not going to get the same service that you will get from DG&B. And remember, customer service is always first, right? You get in an accident, the police cannot tell you who gets a tow. The insurance companies cannot tell you where to go. The answer to both is DG&B. They'll pick you up from the accident site of your home, fix your vehicle, and then drop it back off to you at your home. How's that for convenience? The towing and that, completely free. So go to DonaldsonGlassandBody.com today. That's DonaldsonGlassandBody.com.
Off the Bench, hanging with Esther and Hanny, after further review and more, are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only, subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st. 2021.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644.
Yo, join us for a Thursday edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Tonda from noon to 3. Billy Embody of Go 247 joins us to recap LSU signing class. We'll also be joined by Hunt Palmer to react to LSU versus Alabama on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Oh, new license-free music. That's right. We got the email. There's like 10 new license-free songs for us to begin to make fun of. And I think that means that we're going to lose 10. I hope we didn't lose our overly aggressive folky or country music 10. Oh, we didn't lose it. I thought they said they rotated some out.
I think they just added to
Okay, so we still have our fake dubstep and our fake country music and that one rap song that has lyrics. Okay, very excited then to keep them around. Welcome back, OTB. Okay, look, right now I want to dive into some Jameis Winston sound as he was on the QB7 podcast with Mike Vick, and the reason why this sound is becoming more and more relevant because it is looking more and more. Look, if the reaction on Twitter is any indication, Danny, people were very not into the idea of drafting any of those quarterbacks. Nobody wants Kyle Trask, Ellinger, anybody else, unfortunately. So yeah, I get it. Everybody's heads are at. Okay, but Matt Stafford's now out. People aren't really into the idea of Derek Carr. I don't know if Gardner Minshew's worth pursuing because I think that Jackson's just going to chill with him and whatever. I mean, is Gardner Minshew actually good? I don't think so. So it's looking more and more like, depending on what Drew Brees does next week, which we imagine he will almost certainly retire, it's looking like more and more Jameis Winston could be your quarterback for the black and gold next year. So let's hear what Jameis Winston had to say on the Mike Vick QB7 podcast. Here's Winston 1. This is him talking about spending time. Remember, he took $1 million deal last year, just $1 million. He cut the money that he could have maximized in order to what he said was like going to Harvard for quarterbacks. Here's what he had to say on actually now spending that season with Sean Payton and Drew Brees.
Man, it was a blessing. When you start to learn how to really control of an offense and you see someone who has basically built a reputation with this coach, built that continuity with this coach, you see how the ins and outs work inside an organization, and you learn how to prepare for your next opportunity of being that main guy and how to really command the whole building.
I mean, bro, that sounds like somebody who is lapping up the lessons that are out there in front of him. And I know that in the limited window that we got to see Winston, you may be like, well, did those lessons stick? I don't know that it's enough. Like, we didn't see enough Jameis Winston to say either way. But I think there's a few interesting pieces there. First off, learn how to be in control of a full offense, right, of a team. That would jive very well with what Sean Payton talked about earlier when we played the sounder during the headlines, basically saying that Jameis Winston is a very solid leader, one of the best leaders that they had in that building. And Sean Payton saying, and look, that's very tough to do for a guy who comes in as a free agent backup quarterback. So you combine Winston's ability to lead with the fact that Winston is now saying he's learned more and more how to lead, and that becomes pretty exciting. Also, you could tell that maybe he didn't always have the relationship with his head coach that he sees now in front of him between Sean Payton and Drew Brees. maybe he wants more of that. It sounds like Sean Payton is willing to go down that road with Jameis Winston, saying earlier that he would rather sign him sooner rather than later. So Jameis sounds like he thought that learning from Peyton and Breeze was huge, and he expounded on that a bit. Here is Jameis Winston and what it was like being in that quarterback room with Drew Brees day in and day out.
Man, it was electric. Like, his approach to the game. I pride myself in how I prepare and how I approach the game. But, like, seeing someone who's done it for a very long time, coming to work every day, like, kind of with that rookie's mentality, like, willing to learn. His dialogue, being able to voice his opinion with the offensive coordinator, man. Like, that was the biggest point to me, seeing how he had full control of this offense, seeing how he was willing to voice his opinion and willing to put in things that really perfected his craft, opposed to anything else.
It's kind of hard not to get really excited about Winston when you hear him saying these things. I will say this, maybe as just a bit of a qualifier. This is something that Jameis Winston has been incredible at his entire career. He is very good at saying the exact right thing to get you very excited. I don't know if the on-the-field results have always perfectly lined up with the comments that he has made. But, I mean, again, we didn't get to see it on the field too much last year, so we can't really say if that's the case or not right now. I love hearing that, though. And what a testament to Drew Brees that is, right? To say that this man would still be approaching the game with a rookie's mentality, willing to work that hard, willing to prepare that much when he's been in the league for, I mean, how many years has Brees played now? 17, 16, 15, like 18, whatever it is, 40 years old. It'd be real easy for Drew Brees to start to phone it in a little bit. And I think that Jameis Winston, I mean, how could you not be blown away when you get to see firsthand the amount of like almost sociopathic commitment that it takes in order to have the sustained and consistent success that Drew Brees has had? And when you're looking at words that you would love to be able to apply to Jameis Winston, consistent would be the one, right? If you can get a consistent Jameis Winston, you are talking about a guy that could be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And the question becomes, okay, if he has that potential, does he realize that potential in free agency? Is it here in New Orleans? Is it elsewhere? Here's what Jameis Winston had to say on what he is looking for during this free agent process.
Free agency has really been behind my mind, man. I've been studying, I've been planning on like, what are some schemes that I like, moving forward? Like, what are some things that I want to implement in my next location, right, wherever I am? But ultimately, man, when you think about free agency, bro, you know it, I know it. It's about winning. Hey. I want to be part of an organization that's ready to win, that's willing to win, and because that's all I'm focused on is winning.
Interesting. Ready to win, willing to win. There's only a couple of teams that maybe fit that billing, right? I think the Saints, you could say, are ready to win. I think the Broncos are actually ready to win. I think the Colts are ready to win. I think what hurts the Colts I think what hurts the Broncos in all of this is the fact that they have a defensive head coach in Vic Fangio. Jameis Winston just then was talking about, I'm kind of thinking about the scheme, right? What do I want to look for on top of the winning once I know the winning is there? And if I were to look at the Broncos, that would maybe put them behind someone like the Indianapolis Colts, who have a very offensive mind at the 4 with Frank Reich, or, of course, the New Orleans Saints with Sean Payton. And it sounds like Payton wants Jameis, as long as the price doesn't get driven up too much. And if you look at winning, I mean, the New Orleans Saints are 8-1 without Drew Brees over the last 2 years. And as we've talked about, there's a lot, and we'll get to some of it in OT today, there's a lot of ways for the Saints to keep the core of this team intact so that winning remains at the 4. So I don't know. Like, I wonder, is there a better winning landing spot for Jameis Winston than New Orleans? We'll see if that's really is what is the most important factor in his decision-making. Because that, to me, sounded like a man who isn't necessarily, the money's obviously going to be a piece, but maybe not the piece. And if winning is the piece, then the Saints have to be at the top of the list for Winston. All right, when we get back here on Off the Bench, we're going to talk to Ross Jackson about this, as well as the Saints hiring a new defensive backs coach and Chris Richard, former architect of the Legion of Boom. Of course, Ross hosts the Locked on Saints podcast daily, so you can check that out. We'll talk to Ross next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. Allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. Join me in joining the All-Star family. The dealers are nice. I joined it twice. You can find them off of Airline if you just want to go check it in for yourself. The new 2021s are here, and there are some incredible deals on the 2021s. Also mean you can find probably even sweeter deals on the 2020, and it doesn't matter what you're looking for, right? I'm a big guy, but I decided to lease a 2020 Camry, and I love it. Very comfortable, awesome, super cutting edge, and super affordable, which is the best. Then I also got a 2020 minivan, the Sienna, and I cannot say enough glowing things about the Toyota Sienna. It's incredible for kids. It is everything you need in there. All the room. It's like a mansion on wheels, it feels like at times. The bottom line is you want to check it out. But look, it's not just new vehicles. You want to get Toyota certified used vehicles. You want to rent for the weekend. You want that Tundra. It's a great deal. They got it all over at All-Star Toyota. Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Golfcom.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We got a full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier previewing Super Bowl 55. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Oh, man, big news. My boy Steel Hole, shout out to my friend Steel Hole, a proud new papa, says Warhammer Fantasy's coming back. The tabletop. They're moving away from Age of Sigmar, getting back to classic fantasy, the old world. Does that excite you, Muso? No, it does not. Well, you know what excites me? Talking to our next guest, Ross Jackson. You can follow him on Twitter at Ross Jackson Nola. He is the host of Locked On Saints, which you catch every day. He's the editor for Canal Street Chronicles, which covers the New Orleans Saints. And he is actually now the Locked On. He's the NFL and college coordinator for all of the Locked On podcasts, okay? So this is someone who lives and breathes football and lives and breathes the New Orleans Saints. We had on one of his co-hosts last week, our guy Dylan Sanders. Let's now go to the phone lines. We got Ross Jackson. Ross, what's up, man?
Hey, brother. Always glad to be here with you, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a lot to get to today. I think Bree's retirement's impending. Jameis Winston kind of flirting back and forth between him and Peyton. What's going to happen there? But let's start here. Chris Richard, the former D coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks, kind of you could almost argue one of the architects of the Legion of Boom, has been tabbed to replace Aaron Glenn as the Saints DB's coach. Now, Richard's a bit interesting, right? Because after everybody got fired from Dallas, he didn't get a D coordinator job he wanted, took a year off, biding his time, thinking he would get that D coordinator job. It did not open up. He now catches on with the New Orleans Saints. What's your take on the hire of Chris Richard?
Yeah, man. Look, I think that this is a great hire for the New Orleans Saints. Replacing Aaron Glenn was always going to be a tall task for this team. Losing him was kind of a blow for them, him heading with Dan Campbell over to Detroit as their new defensive coordinator. So I really like this hire for the Saints. This was a guy that was in conversation with a few other teams. It looks like the Las Vegas Raiders, the Texans he had some discussions with. He met personally with head coach Matt LaFleur of the Packers, according to Ed Werder, all for defensive coordinator conversation and consideration, and he chooses to come to New Orleans for their position that's open as defensive backs coach in place of Aaron Glenn, saying it was the best choice for him and his family. I think he brings an edge. I think he brings a ton of experience, as you mentioned, as being one of the architects of the Legion of Boom there, 2010 on, 2011 on, his work with them. So I really like what he brings in terms of intensity, but the numbers back up as well what he can do with a unit like what the New Orleans Saints have in store.
And what do you think the Saints secondary will look like next year? When you look at this offseason, it certainly feels like Marcus Williams would maybe be someone who may or may not be around. If you had to try and project, which is very murky right now, but if you had to try and project, like, who do you think Richard will be coaching?
Yeah, I mean, my projection is that after Jameis Winston, Marcus Williams becomes the top priority for the New Orleans Saints in terms of their in-house free agents. So we know how they like to do when it comes to their offseason. They always approach it in-house free agents first, is what they've done since 2017, and then they worry about filling holes in the defense and free agency so they can go best player available in the draft. So they're always very focused on in-house free agents. I think that he's the number 2 priority behind Jameis Winston, assuming that all goes as we expect with Drew Brees and his retirement announcement, potentially within the next couple of weeks or so. We'll find out a little bit more about that, I imagine. And so I do think that the Saints have the potential to retain the same starting secondary that they had last year. The 2 biggest question marks are going to be Marcus Williams, and if they decide to stick with Janoris Jenkins or roll with maybe a rookie or another free agent that's out there, depending upon what they want to do with his salary cap. So those are going to be the 2 biggest question marks, but there should be opportunities to fill those with guys in free agency that might be out there in terms of corner. And then, of course, you've got guys like Marcus May, who's a safety coming out of the New York Jets. There's a lot of opportunity to fill that as well as with a rookie class. But like we mentioned, they don't like to fill holes with the draft. They want to do that with free agency.
Yeah, I'll be fascinated to see what they want to do with Jackrabbit. I mean, I hope they can keep him around because I do think that him and Lattimore in terms of a combination are really as good as anyone you'll find in a league in terms of being a 1-2. On the other side of the ball, everything revolves around quarterback, right? This will be an offseason where this conversation will be evergreen. There will be new angles, new names entering the mix. Yesterday, we had some fun talking about potential draft picks that everybody really crapped all over and shut down. So how do you feel about the quarterback situation going into next year? Do you feel like it's Jameis or bust right now?
I don't know if it's necessarily Jameis or bust, but I feel like Jameis is at the top of the list for them. We learned that the Saints were not involved in the Matt Stafford approach at all. They were not interested. They didn't make any offers there. And seeing the price that Detroit ended up getting from the Los Angeles Rams, hearing that Carolina put up the number 8 overall pick, it makes sense why the Saints stayed away from that conversation, because they care a little bit more for their draft capital than maybe the Los Angeles Rams, who have traded away their first-round pick since 2017, and the last big problem that they had on their team was Jared Goff, who was the last first-round pick that they spent. So maybe they're just a little bit scorned when it comes to first-round picks. But the Saints, of course, have always cared about utilizing their draft capital to be able to utilizing their future draft capital, but being able to maximize their current draft capital. That's the way they've always done it, as opposed to exchanging for established veterans. So I think that for the Saints right now, the number one priority continues to be Jameis Winston, who no other team can talk to until March 15th. They're the only team that can talk to him. So regardless of any of the rumors that are floating around about which teams have interest, I don't want to say that it's irrelevant, but it doesn't make as much of a difference as if we were already in the midst of free agency, for instance. So I think that becomes their number one priority. After that, things get a little bit murky. You still have Taysom Hill on the roster. The Saints felt like they had 3 starting quarterbacks last year. If they truly believe that, then they can continue to roll with Taysom Hill. But there could be other options that open up there. And, I wouldn't look entirely past the draft and that if that were the case at all.
So it's the date that the Saints, that Jameis Winston has hit for other teams could talk to him is interesting when coupled with the sound that Sean Payton has recently put out, where he's basically saying, look, we would rather sign Jameis sooner rather than later. Do you see a deal coming together where they sign Jameis before he can test the waters, or do you think it's inevitable that Winston sees what's out there?
I think that that's what the Saints would want as their ideal situation, right? Like, we won't see Jameis Winston sign a contract with the New Orleans Saints before Drew Brees makes his announcement. There's not a world in which anyone's going to be, that the team, or Jameis Winston for that matter, who has a ton of respect for Drew Brees, will be that. I'll use the phrase disrespectful, even though, it could be seen a couple different ways. But, you won't see that deal come together until Drew Brees has made the announcement officially that he either plans to retire or doesn't. Again, it seems likely that he does plan to retire. And so what that would essentially mean is that deal with Jameis Winston, the sort of sweet spot for it in terms of anyone that's anticipating the deal, would be between that announcement and the middle of March, right? Those what I imagine will be a couple of weeks at that point during that period. So I think that that's the ideal situation for New Orleans, as opposed to getting into a bidding war with any teams out there that maybe have more cap space. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the Saints still be able to pull off, even in that case, the ability to sign Jameis Winston with an escalating contract that doesn't have a huge 2021 hit where there's not going to be a ton of cap space, but then that builds over time in terms of the time of that deal.
Yeah, Mickey Loomis will find ways to give him the value to make him happy without overly taxing this cap. And it's not just this year's cap. Like, they can figure out this year's cap. It's next year's cap.
Right.
That will ultimately be most impactful. You're going to need that to rise pretty significantly. We're talking to Ross Jackson at Ross Jackson Nola on Twitter, host of Locked on Saints each and every day. Also, catch him on Whole Nine Sports. I mean, he does it all. Canal Street Chronicles, he edits. He's the NFL and college coordinator for all the Locked on podcasts. So a very busy man. Ross, when you look at the upcoming NFL draft, is it too early to try to hit on some Saints targets? I mean, I know you covered the Senior Bowl. Did anybody emerge there? What are some names that maybe you could put on Saints fans' radars?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's not a problem at all. I think we can start with everybody's favorite Saints draft target position, offensive line. I'm just kidding. We can go to probably, but there are actually some really good offensive linemen out there. Trey Smith out of Tennessee, who's probably going to end up being a mid-round day 2 guy because of health concerns, even though he has played every game of 2019, 2020, but he's a good one. Dylan Radin, the left tackle, left guard out of North Dakota State University, was extremely impressive. So there were some guys that stood out there. None, of course, more than Quinn Miners of Wisconsin Whitehair, who, this is why you love the Senior Bowl, the small school guys. But, I know that Saints fans get really excited about the potential of the Saints adding weapons. So over on the wide receiver side, were a lot of options at the Senior Bowl, and there will continue to be a lot of options all throughout. Kadarius Toney, who our friend Brandon Olson described as being like the literal physical personification of Lanyap. He can do a little bit of everything. And then you look at some of these other maybe later round guys like Demetric Felton out of UCLA who could do a little bit of the same, even though his stature might be one that deters the Saints. They have a prototype that they really like at receiver in the draft is over 6 foot, over 200 pounds. The last guy that they drafted that wasn't both of those things was Brandon Cooks, who they traded up for, but he also had impeccable speed at his disposal. Tight end John Bates, the guy out of Boise State, was really impressive. And then you can look over to the defensive side too. I mean, linebacker is a position that the Saints could stand to get younger in, and we don't know what's going to happen in terms of player retention for guys like Quan Alexander. It seems likely that he'll be on the roster because he has that injury guarantee that kicks in at the beginning of April, and he'll still be on the roster at that point with his Achilles injury. But still, how effective is he going to be as a linebacker that that really relies on his ability to go sideline to sideline and change direction, to be quick? How is he going to perform with an Achilles injury? So there are some other younger linebackers they could invest in the first round, like Nick Bolton, Zaven Collins out of Tulsa, and then there are some other names toward the later parts of the draft, like of course, well not later, but day 2 parts of the draft, like maybe Jabril Cox out of LSU.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at Baron Browning out of Ohio State University. So it's a really talented draft class at a lot of places where the Saints could target.
Well, there you go. Ross Jackson at Ross Jackson NOLA. If that doesn't convince you to listen on the Locked On Saints podcast, I don't know what will. Check out Ross as well as all the Locked On pods and everything else that he does. Just follow him on Twitter at Ross Jackson NOLA. Ross, thank you so much for waking up with us this morning, man.
Hey, absolutely, man. Always a pleasure. You take care, and let's get you back on the show over at Locked On Saints here soon, all right?
Yes, sir. Hit me up whenever. All right, there's Ross Jackson. Coming up next, we will close out hour number 2, get you ready for hour number 3 where things tend to go off the rails a little bit. Chat's just driving me crazy with all the delicious food talk today, burgers, Chinese. I'm about to go get really fat after the show ends, almost a guarantee. Back more Off the Bench next.
Off the Bench. We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st. 2021.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
From Corval Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a Corolla for $239 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Join us for a Thursday edition of Jimmy Yacht's Game Time, live from Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. We recap LSU versus Alabama in basketball and look ahead to the Super Bowl on Sunday with some more prop bets. Tune in at 6 p.m., 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
The culinary debates continue in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat right now. Some people talking about Coke as in cocaine. Some people talking about Coke as in Coca-Cola. How about this? For some reason, Coke Freestyle machines have come under attack. Alex Nunez and others in the chat saying that they hate Coke Freestyle machines. Do we have an opinion in this room? Musso and Danny, do you have a strong take either way? For those who don't know, a Coke Freestyle machine is a giant machine where it's a touchscreen, right? And there's like a million different buttons, a million different flavorings, a million different sodas, and you make whatever you want. I guess Alex, the chat, saying that he thinks that it waters down the product. It cuts the product, a la cutting your cocaine with fentanyl, something along those lines, even if it's more by accident in the fentanyl play. But what do you think? Do you have an opinion on Coke Freestyle machine?
Not really. I mean, I don't drink a lot of soft drinks.
I guess I don't either. That is true.
So, I mean, I really don't have an opinion. I'm sorry.
The only time I do those when I go to the movie theater. Danny, do you have a take either way on the Freestyle machine?
I prefer the traditional, but yeah.
Here's
both.
Here's the deal. Sure. I mean, look, everybody seems to love McDonald's Coke. I've never understood it. Everybody says that it's the best, and sure, whatever. I mean, if you want to get into a classic fountain drink machine, although look, I think they're kind of horrifying in their own way, right? For all you talking about how much you love McDonald's Coke, when do you think the last time that McDonald's soda machine was cleared out was, right? Like the ice that is going into your cup. You think that ice maker gets cleaned up? I don't know, dude. You hear some horror stories. But, some things are just better left unasked. It's like when you get the little, the chili or the cheese from the gas station that just squirts out at the press of a button. Don't ask any questions. Just eat that hot dog with that delicious chili and cheese on it and go about your day and enjoy yourself. Look, I can get behind the idea of not liking a Freestyle machine if you're just going for a classic Coke. But soda often, when I do like a vanilla Coke, right? And unfortunately, without a Freestyle machine, I don't know where else to get vanilla Coke at this point. When I was a little kid, it took the world by storm, and then it disappeared. I know that at Waffle House, you can get a legitimate vanilla Coke. If you don't know that, little fat kid ordering technique. So next time you go in, you say you want the T-Bob Special, which is a bacon Texas cheesesteak double plate smothered covered with a waffle on the side and vanilla Coke to drink, and you will be satisfied. You'll be overly satisfied. All right, when we get back next hour, we're going to talk, okay, look, A couple of things in the news. First off, New Orleans football continues to ask the important questions. And up on the docket today is kind of the curious case of Trey Hendrickson. What do you do with Trey Hendrickson if you are the New Orleans Saints? Do you pay this man? Just finished second in the NFL in sacks. Is he the answer going forward? What do you do with him? We'll start to discuss that. We'll also get into the hiring of Chris Richard, why you maybe should or should not be excited about him taking over in that same secondary, head on with Ross. And then Jeff Duncan will stop by at 9:30 to talk Super Bowl and all things New Orleans. Zachary Moe, any Diet Coke lovers in the chat? Gross. I don't know about y'all. I hate Diet Coke. If we're going to do something, don't do it halfway. Just go all the way, okay? Don't drink soda often, but when you do, drink actual soda, right? Get the real sugar, not the aspartame BS. It's just, yeah, not personally for me, not a fan. It goes back to the old ethos. When you hit the hole, you can't go half-stepping, okay? So you go full speed or you go not at all. If you don't, you're going to get injured. You'll never get injured when you work with AdvantaClean. Fire, mold, water damage. You know that you want AdvantaClean. It needs to be your first call. Anything goes wrong, you don't go to the insurance company first. If you do, they'll funnel you to companies you got a relationship. You go with AdvantaClean. Call 369-5228. That's 369-5228. They're 24/7. They take care of the documentation. They deal with the insurance company. They make sure your home is good to go. Okay, now we're getting OCD levels of specific here. Kyle Aycock saying, real talk, Mr. Pibb, specifically from Cinemark Perkins Row. Which, if I'm being honest, I don't really like Perkins Row as a movie theater venue. I like the surrounding area. It's fun to go to food. I love going to Barnes & Noble. We talked about that yesterday. I don't always love the screen quality over there. 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Shout out Surge. Absolutely. It's like Coke for junior high kids, basically. When we get back in hour 3, though, like I said, a lot of Saints talk, a lot of Super Bowl talk, as well as I want to break down how the Tampa Bay Bucs maybe beat the Kansas City Chiefs, how you should approach them, how you should attack them. Next here on OTBOT.
Off the bench.
Go to Oster.org today, Oster.org. If you are injured, you're not feeling well, you got any lingering injuries, maybe from some old high school athletic, college athletics, maybe it's just age, right? Shoulders, joints, anything like that. Ochsner is the answer for all of your orthopedic needs, and it's because they have the best facilities, the best doctors, and the most cutting-edge techniques. Now, I know I said cutting, but it doesn't mean that you have to get cut, right? They have non-surgical options that they can explore that are being developed more and more every single day. But if you do end up needing to go under the knife, there's no better place than Ochsner, and that's whether you're here in Baton Rouge, the North Shore, or New Orleans. What's the common denominator? The facilities are incredible. I mean, you'll probably put sleep. I don't know if you're going to remember the ORs, but the ORs are amazing in how they're built, and how they're built is to maximize the doctor's effectiveness, right? Make it as comfortable for them, and that's what they do at Ochsner. They maximize potential. They maximize your potential. Go to Ochsner.org today. That's Ochsner.org.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st. 2021.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Thursday, February the 4th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 70. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Coming up today on OTB Athletics, Jeff Duncan joins the show at 9:30 talking Saints. Follow the show today on Twitter and Instagram at OTB_ESPN. You can watch the show live at the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel and interact inside the Bayou Ford chat. OTBOT starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Wow. Big news. Big news that just came across my Twitter. And it's not Aaron Carter and Lamar Odom in a celebrity boxing match. Though that is apparently happening. And if that causes your brain to bleed a little bit, it's not just you. If there was ever a sign that we have lost our way, right, that we are floundering around in the darkness, that the dark dystopian idiocracy future is here, it's the fact that Aaron Carter and Lamar Odom will be engaging in a celebrity boxing match, which seems to be the new fad.
I feel like that's not a fair fight.
I feel like I have no desire to watch that.
I mean, me either, but I feel like Lamar Odom is a lot bigger than Aaron Carter.
I think you're probably right.
Like a lot bigger.
Like significantly. I think that he's probably going to have a huge reach advantage because of that.
I think he's probably just going to absolutely destroy Aaron Carter. I will not watch.
Alex Anderson does raise a good point, though. How do you kill that which is already dead? Lamar Odom has literally come back from the dead. Does that give him a little extra juice going into this fight? So no, as depressing as that news is, and please, just don't pay money for that. Don't. I know it can be a bit of a curiosity, but there's no point. Danny, did you make this? No, you found this somewhere.
God, that looks terrible.
Just don't pay money for this. Let's reject the dystopian future at some point.
Why does Aaron Carter's face looks like it was photoshopped on somebody else's body?
Because it was. Because it absolutely was. Every day we stray further from the light. Though, Musso, if you want to get a good look at Aaron Carter's body.
I'm good. I don't care.
And you'll be able to know that's not his body. All this rabbit hole led me to is figured out that Aaron Carter charges $27 a month for his OnlyFans. That's too aggressive, Danny. Look at that. I mean, look at that dude. Lamar Odom's going to kill him. Anyway, but beyond that, $27 a month? Who would pay $27 a month for Aaron Carter's OnlyFans.
Also, is it really fair to call this a celebrity boxing match? I mean,
yeah. I mean, look, we're talking about it, so I would say, yeah, it gets there. I get what you're saying. It's a C-list celebrity, maybe D-list celebrity boxing match, but there's still there's enough interest for him to be charging $27 a month. I mean, the only Disney stars that I would probably pay that for, Shia LaBeouf, probably.
Well, why are we talking about this?
Raven. Everybody knows
Actually,
Raven.
I take that back. Why are you talking about this?
Danny Nonhead. And, of course, Hillary Duff. Maybe Gordo. Probably not 27 on Gordo, but I may throw Gordo $10 a month. Okay, so why I was talking about this, though, is that this is not the exciting news, okay? That's just whatever the hell chat's talking about. Yeah, I know, right? You're shocked. You're like, wait, T-Bob, how in the world could that not be the big news that literally caused you to have a physical inhalation of breath right before we came back? Wow, Emil says he knows a chick from high school is charging $50 a month. $50 a month. Jesus, dude. Danny, bro, you need a little side cash? If Aaron Carter's making 27, I mean, look, dude, all we got to do, if we get real serious about your carbs here, maybe, just get a little more cut in the abs, and before you know it, Danny, I think we could be bringing home 8 to 10 a month for you. I'll be in charge of producing your content. And just give me a cut. Just give me 10% and we can make it happen. $50 a month. Wow. But no, the big news. Warner Brothers, this weekend, February 5th, and next weekend, showing the Lord of the Rings trilogy in IMAX for the first time ever. Let's go. Fellowship of the Ring this Saturday, February 5th. Two Towers and Return of the King next Saturday, February 10th. Oh, my God, dude. I am in. Let's go, dude. Let's go. Weedy Wee, Lamar, and Aaron Carter will knock each other out. Neil McCullough, Hillary Duff over Lindsay Lohan. Sure.
That's the correct opinion.
Yeah. This is getting a little too horny. I guess this is my fault. This is completely my fault.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I go back to my original question.
Yeah.
Why are you talking about this?
Wow. Alvin Marzwani and saying Aaron Carter's 11 inches shorter than Lamar Odom. Generally invites you don't give up a foot to the other fighter.
This is gonna go worse than the
Nate Robinson,
Nate
Jake
Robinson
Paul fight. Yeah. Who I guess Jake Paul's
trying the difference is Nate Robinson still had some credit.
Nate Robinson
he had a reputation to tarnish. Aaron Carter does not.
No. Aaron Carter has nothing to lose by this. I mean, we're talking about him, right? So mission accomplished. Nate Robinson, though, also did what I love, the expert move of parlaying his failure into more money. He has a national commercial right now. I can't remember what company it's for, but the whole theme of the commercial is turning your losses into W's, turning your L's into W's. And it features Nate Robinson because, of course, he just got his ass knocked out. But that's okay. He now used it to become somewhat relevant once again. Yeah, man, the Lord of the Rings in IMAX. Are you kidding me, dude? I cannot wait. That is incredible. Look, the one thing that we haven't mentioned is the obvious joke, though, with Aaron Carter here. He's already beaten Shaq. What's to say that he can't beat another former champion Los Angeles Laker? Shaq's already gone down to Aaron Carter. He sang an entire song about it. You can go check it out. Well, now it looks like Lamar Odom next in his crosshairs. Musa, what would I have to give you to go watch Lord of the Rings with me this weekend? It's only 4 hours long.
Holy crap.
I've
actually seen one Lord of the Rings.
If it's not the extended edition, it's only like 3 hours, 15 minutes.
I've actually seen one of them.
Which one?
I don't know. The first one, I guess.
Okay. Off the top of your head, tell me what happens in the one Lord of the Rings movie that you saw. Just give me anything.
Couldn't do it. They wandered through.
Yes, okay, that's what I need. Just give me any of this. Okay.
They were dressed in medieval type, peasant clothing, honestly, is what it looked like.
Okay, yeah.
Honestly,
I think Frodo's clothes are a little nicer than they give credit
maybe,
for.
I don't know.
Okay, but continue.
They were, it's like Hobbit clothing, but whatever. It all looks very wool and warm and just hot. But
Okay,
anyway,
there we go.
I don't know. They just were wandering through this open mountain field area. The Shire, is that what it's called? Or something like that?
Yes.
That's all I got for you. I don't know.
That sounded like you have a pretty good gist of it. Do you remember like a fight scene or anything? You don't remember any fight scene from the first Lord of the Rings. You don't remember like a giant beast that was made of shadow and flame. You shall not pass.
Man, I know that that saying. Like, it's Gandalf,
but you don't
right?
remember seeing it? Do you remember like any of the fights with the orcs or the goblins?
Not really.
The
I mean,
cave
look,
troll?
it just, that should show you. It didn't make a huge impression on me. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. Like, I get it.
Oh,
People love it.
No, it's
I'm in the
cool.
minority, honestly, of that. Of people
No,
who
I'm not
don't
saying you have to
Lord of
like
the
it. I just thought that that more would have maybe stuck with you, right? Like, I have movies that I hate that I still have a bit of vague understanding. But then again, I mean, you kind of hit a lot of the Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings movies nail on the head. It's like a bunch of good costumes and people walking around in beautiful environments trying to get somewhere, walking through like fields and mountains and whatnot. Can you name one character from the movie?
Smeagol.
Okay, there we go. Now I feel like you've probably seen Two Towers and not Fellowship of the Ring. Can you name
I don't know.
any other character?
I mean, Frodo, you said that earlier.
Okay, give me one more.
Gandalf in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, there you go. He's You Shall Not Pass.
Yeah,
He's the wizard.
yeah.
Keep going. You're on a heater.
No, that's it. The heater's done.
Not even a Sam Gamgee?
What the hell is that? What did you just say to me?
Sam Gamgee, that's the best character in Lord of the Rings. He is the O-lineman of Lord of the Rings. He is selfless. He is the fullback of Lord of the Rings. He
Okay.
lays it all on the line to support his friends, right? He literally, in Return of the King, says, look, I may not be able to carry the ring, but I can carry you. And he puts Frodo on his back and carries him up Mount Doom.
Low man wins.
Low man wins. He's a hobbit. He's only 3 feet tall, the lowest of low, okay? He is a leverage beast. Also, don't sleep on Sam. When he gets a little riled up in that orc tower, old boy does some work. Takes out some orcs, especially in the books. Maybe not as much in the movies, but Sam Gamgee, the best character in Lord of the Rings. Well, I'm proud of you, Musso. You at least had a general understanding, and you named 3 Lord of the Rings characters correctly. But what that means is now you have to go watch the movie this weekend. 3 hours. It's only 3.5 hours of your life on a Saturday.
I do, but
do it for the content.
Do it for the content.
Musso,
What
Danny's not in.
What
Musso,
content would that
Lord of the
be?
Rings review on Monday.
Oh, God.
Yes, please.
A 4-hour
Please.
movie? I don't.
We may have to pay. Okay, we'll talk after the show. Maybe I will literally see if I can entice you in some way to go this week and maybe sweeten the pot a little bit and give us a full review on Monday. All right. I do want to talk Saints this hour because I want to talk about Trey Hendrickson. Danny, I'm fascinated to think what you think. What do you off the bat here? If I just said, should the Saints pay Trey Hendrickson, what's your response?
I would bring him back. I would pay him.
So you would pay him? Would you pay him elite pass rusher money?
No, not elite pass rusher.
Okay. So here's the here's going to be the comp, and I want everybody to chew on this comp over the break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it because of course New Orleans football. Nick Underhill signed up. He was breaking this down, and he came up with a beautiful comparison for maybe the around the price tag that Trey Hendrickson could demand. Frank Clark, defensive end for the Kansas City Chiefs, okay? Frank Clark had 13 sacks for the Seattle Seahawks in 2018. Now, the 2 years before that, he had 6 sacks and 8 sacks. So it was a pretty good rise for Frank Clark, a bit better than Trey Hendrickson's rise, which was a little more out of nowhere, a little more explosive. But that 13 sack year got him a $104 million deal in Kansas City. Okay? Trey Hendrickson didn't have 13. He had 14.5 sacks this year. He tied Aaron Donald for second in the NFL. Is he worth that type of money? Yes or no? Answer the chat. We'll get back with more next. Please, let's everybody apply as much peer pressure to Musso as possible to make him go see Fellowship of the Ring in IMAX this weekend. I will go with you if I am able to. I have stuff going on Saturday I got to go attend to, but we shall see. And we'll be back more next here on OTBOT.
OTBOT.
Tune in Sunday for live play-by-play of Super Bowl 55 when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers face the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. Coverage starts at 1 and kickoff is at 5:30. Your home for the NFL and Super Bowl 55 is 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, We've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Happy New Year from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a new Camry for $335 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Yo, join us for a Thursday edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Tonda from noon to 3. Billy Embody of Go 247 joins us to recap LSU signing class. We'll also be joined by Hunt Palmer to react to LSU versus Alabama on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back, OTB OT. Now everybody's talking about Disney Stars OnlyFans, so I apologize. I brought this up. Zachary Moe, it still breaks my heart that we didn't push on Palmer harder to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy over the summer. We could have made it happen. I went to Return of the King edition theaters a couple months ago. It was incredible. Hadn't seen any of them in theaters. Oh, wow. It's interesting. Yeah, I guess, for me, those were my Star Wars movie experiences, right? Like, same way that kids describe being a kid in 78 and going to see New Hope. That's how I felt with Fellowship. I very famously watched it noon to 4. Went home. I was 11 years old. I made my oldest sister take me back 8 to midnight that night. Musso. Saturday night. Elton John once said Saturday night's all right for fighting, right?
LSU used to have a great hype video. I believe you were playing when they used to play that in Tiger Stadium.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That song. That was a fantastic hype video. One of my favorite LSU hype videos of all time. Great song.
Okay. Well,
started out with the Elton John version, then went into the more hard rock version.
So, there's a lot of fighting in Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring. And that IMAX this Saturday, dude, 7:30 p.m., Moose. Where you at, bro? Come on, dude.
That is an entire Saturday night.
Me, you, beers, popcorn, Coke Ices, all the things you love, movie theaters.
You're right on beer. But
which, by the way, during the commercial break, Musso told us that he literally doesn't like Coke Ices, doesn't like popcorn, and doesn't like movie
I didn't
theaters.
say I didn't like Coke Ices. I said they were overrated. I think there's better icy flavors.
What's a better icy flavor then?
For one, Dr. Pepper's a better icy flavor than Coke.
Huh. Okay, I didn't expect you to go there.
Yep,
I don't know if I'm willing to fight you on that.
I like white cherry a lot. That's solid.
I just don't think that many places have Dr. Pepper icy flavors.
It's true. That's why when you get one, you have to snag because they're incredible.
That makes sense.
A lot of places don't actually have icy anymore either, which is a problem. You should because they're better than anything.
Celebrity used to have, and I don't know if they still do, but they had the Jack and Coke icy machines. So it was a Coke icy with Jack in it. And
those are dangerous. We
Call
made
a
our
redneck.
own one time for tailgating in college. Those are dangerous. Watch it.
Yeah, they are dangerous. Almost as dangerous as not going to see Fellowship of the Ring with me Saturday Night Moose. I'm just saying, I want everybody to apply. If you know Matthew Musso in real life, apply as much social and peer pressure as we can. We are going to try to force him into the theaters this weekend so he can give us a Monday OTB-OT Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring review. We can even drink coffee before. I will slap you if you fall asleep to stay awake. Well, we'll get you something to keep you awake.
Why are you trying to make this the worst night of my life? You're just
I'm not. It's going to be
things in that I don't like.
Okay, what do you want? Okay, how can I entice you?
This is terrible peer pressure.
Miller Lite? What if I had Miller Lite on ice?
Miller Lite's fine.
Okay.
I'll drink any domestic light beer, as a matter of fact. I really don't care.
Okay.
I'm not picky when it comes to that.
Well, there you go.
They all taste the same.
So is that it? I just need to get you some cheap light beer?
That's not it. But,
give you a foot rub?
I'm good, thank you.
A back massage?
I'm fine, thank you.
I do it a lot. I'm very good at it.
I will take your word for that. I don't need that, thank you.
Give my wife's back massages all the time. You shouldn't say no when somebody offers you because they're pretty rare and they feel really good, okay? So all I'm saying is think about it. Bro.
Thought about it. I'm still good on the back massage.
Think about a Balrog in IMAX.
What did you just say?
I don't know that it gets any better.
Anyway, Trey Hendrickson?
Trey Hendrickson. For now. You're lucky. You're off the hook for now, but not for long. So Trey Hendrickson, New Orleans Football has a great article, What to Do with Trey Hendrickson right now. And it is an intriguing question, right? Because Trey Hendrickson is, he's created that always impossible question to answer where during a money year in which free agency was coming up, he exceeded expectations and then some. Like he showed you something that he has never shown before. And now the question becomes, is that success really representative of who he is and who he will continue to become? Remember, this is a very young pass rusher in Trey Hendrickson, or is it fluky, right? And that's where it becomes a bit tough to discern, right? Because, the film shows that it wasn't totally fluky. Like he was winning these one-on-ones consistently, but there were still elements that maybe say that it was. Also, my brain just kind of refuses to accept that it's not fluky because all of a sudden you had Trey Hendrickson up there with Aaron Donald, tied for 13.5 sacks, second in the NFL. So really the main problem here is that the Saints are having to answer this question at the time that Trey Hendrickson is hitting his peak, his zenith of his career thus far. He had no sacks 2 years ago, 4.5 sacks last year, 13.5 sacks this year. How do you take that? Is that a guy who has shown consistent growth and success? Well, absolutely. In one way it is. From 0 to 4.5 to 13.5 speaks to someone who is learning the ropes, who is continuing to improve technique. In fact, technique is really where Trey Hendrickson shines, given that he's outperformed a guy like Marcus Davenport, who is infinitely more physically talented, but has not had the production. So where is the truth of Trey Hendrickson? And like all other things, the truth of Trey Hendrickson is probably somewhere in the middle. Maybe I end up being wrong here. To me, he feels like a 5, 6, 7 sacks a year type of guy, which is a solid player. Like, that's somebody who you want on the squad. There is value there, but it's not that Frank Clark value that we talked about going into the commercial break. It's not that $104 million value that Frank Clark got for getting 13 sacks for Seattle back in 2018. And look, I think right now the Saints' finances are so tight that I don't know that they have the luxury of keeping up, or even that they would want to, even if it wasn't tight, and keeping up with a Trey Hendrickson bidding war if he commands that sort of money. And that's what's going to be also intriguing to me. Is there a team out there that feels like they're close, that maybe Trey Hendrickson puts them over the top? Because I do feel comfortable in saying this, okay? And I don't think I'm wrong here. But I do think that Trey Hendrickson is a bit of a peerless price in Buffalo specifically. And I know, I don't know why. I'm sure there are better metaphors and analogies, and I'm sure there are younger listeners out there like, who's Peerless Price? He's a beast at Tennessee back in the day. Then he goes to Buffalo, and he was really good in Buffalo, really good, 1,000-yard receiver. But you know what he was? He was the number 2. He was the number 2 to Eric Moulds. Well, but he was so good. Surely he can be a number 1, right? The Falcons take him in to be the number 1. He never ends up getting it done. Why? Because he no longer had Eric Moulds taking the attention away from him. I'm worried that that's what Trey Hendrickson is. I don't think he's a number 1. Nick, in the New Orleans Football article, does have some interesting numbers that are a little more granular, if you want to get into them, about his lack of success against double teams, which would point to this idea that, right, he's great one-on-one, but when the defense does focus on him and commit resources to him, when they chip him, etc., does he open things up from teammates? Can he beat the double teams consistently? And I don't believe the answer. I think the answer is no. And so he's a bit like Peerless Price. And you can't commit to Peerless Price the money that you would to a true number 1. So sure, if Trey Hendrickson remains affordable, pay him as a number 2 pass rusher. Absolutely. He deserves that money. I think he will reward you for that money. I do not think you should give him primetime premier pass rusher money. And I don't know, look, I don't know that other teams will be willing to do so too, right? Maybe they will. When you look at the stats, because the stats are pretty gaudy this year with the 13.5 sack explosion. But it'll be an interesting market to watch from here on out. I guess the bottom line of this conversation is just to establish that although he was very good last year, I don't know that I would give him that number 1 money. There needs to be a limit to what you would pay him. Now, if I wanted to argue the other side, though, and argue against myself, there's a chance that I'm way off here. Because he was by far the most efficient pass rusher in the NFL out of the big names, and it's not even particularly close. How about this? TJ Watt had 452 pass rushes, okay? 452. He ended up with 15 sacks. Aaron Donald had 606 pass rush attempts. He ends up with 13.5 sacks. Zadarius Smith, 517 pass rush attempts, 12.5 sacks. Trey Hendrickson at 13.5 on only 348 attempts. So you're looking at 100 less than TJ Watt, and yet just a sack and a half less. 250 less attempts than Aaron Donald, and yet the same amount of sacks. So there is a situation, there's a world here where I'm completely wrong, and this is his trajectory, and he becomes that true number 1. I just don't think, unfortunately, as a byproduct of the Saints' tough cap situation right now, I don't think that you can commit to that world. And if you lose out on him, it's a huge bummer, and maybe if he goes on to do great things, it's an even bigger bummer, in hindsight 2020, and maybe you end up blaming the front office for it. You should have known. But I think if we're being fully objective right now, I don't think many of you would be willing to commit number 1 money to Trey Hendrickson. Danny, has this changed your mind at all? Would you give number 1 pass rush option money to Trey Hendrickson?
No, I mean, I agree with you. I think he deserves like second tier money. But the thing that I don't like is Davenport's always injured, and
yeah,
That's why I kind of want to keep Hendrickson, because Davenport's constantly getting injured.
Yeah, and Davenport hadn't been nearly as productive. I mean, the Saints got better when he entered the lineup for sure, and he had his moments, but I had higher hopes for him. And he has not come through on those hopes, and especially always Davenport's going to have to deal with the burden of expectation that's levied on him just by the price that you gave up to get him. But you know what? Look, those are our opinions. Let's get the real expert opinion. Let's go to Jeff Duncan next here on OTBOT, and he can try to answer our Trey Hendrickson conundrums as well as Chris Richard and what he thinks of that hire, and whether or not he thinks that Musa should come watch Fellowship of the Ring and IMAX with me on OTBOT.
OTBOT. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only, subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Happy New Year from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a Corolla for $239 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We got a full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier previewing Super Bowl 55. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What up, what up, what up? What up, y'all? Welcome back. OTBOT. Still trying to convince Musso to go see Fellowship Ring with me in IMAX Saturday night. Some random names entering the mix. We mentioned Elvis Gerbach yesterday, Peerless Price today, Rashaan Salam. How about that? Devin Steve in the chat. Kajana Carter, former number 1 overall pick. But right now, let's talk some Saints, let's talk some Trey Hendrickson, maybe a little Pelicans as well. With a guy, Jeff Duncan, at Jeff Duncan _ on Twitter. Catch all of his work on The Athletic, which you already know. I love The Athletic. Shameless plug, theathletic.com/hold that podcast. If you want a great sign-up deal. Jeff, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, T-Bob. I love you bring up the name Rashaan Salam. It brings back memories when I was working up in Monroe, Louisiana.
Wow.
At the News Star. And Louisiana Monroe, back then they were Northeast Louisiana, made the move to 1A. They've been 1AA, and their first game was against Colorado in Boulder. And if you've ever been out there, spectacular stadium setting, Flatiron Mountains in the background, Ralphie running out before the game. And the first series of the game, I think Colorado was ranked 3rd in the country. Rashaan Salam fumbled a snap, fumbled exchange. Northeast recovers, kicks a field goal. They're up 3-0 in their first game. They're going crazy, of course, taking photos of the scoreboard. I think the final was I think it was like 51-3 final, but it was a great moment in Northeast Louisiana football history because they were playing their first game ever and were upsetting the Buffaloes for a small period of time. Great memory.
I mean, is there anything more depressing than if you love college football, right? And it's become so top heavy. And if you look at Alabama, it looks like it's only going to become more top heavy. But like looking back at the Natty winners from like the early 90s and around that time, I mean, it used to be so much more diverse, right? You got Colorado and Georgia Tech tying in 90, Washington and Miami in 91, then Bama, then Florida State, Nebraska, Michigan gets in later on, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and now it's just Alabama and Clemson constantly.
Yeah,
time and time
I
again.
hate it.
Yeah.
I think it's the worst. I'm not for socialism of college football, but the whole structure and apparatus of athletic competition is built on kind of an even playing field, so to speak. And there's none of that in college football.
That's a
the
great
Blue
point.
Bloods have legislated out everyone's competition. There's just no way to compete. So much greed. The Power 5 programs broken off from the rest of the NCAA, and it's created this kind of country club where they control the membership and they don't want anyone else in because of the money at stake. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, and it's sometimes bad for the sport overall, in my opinion. Talking to Jeff Duncan, again, if you're a Saints fan, I cannot recommend enough checking out Peyton and Breeze, the men who built the greatest offense in NFL history. But, Jeff, I don't necessarily want to talk offense today. I want to start with defense, and I want to start with Trey Hendrickson and his current value. We just talked about it for about 5 or 6 minutes last segment. But I guess the baseline question is, do you think is Trey Hendrickson a pass rusher one, right? Like is he, we use Peerless Price and Eric Moulds randomly, but is he the main option, or is a lot of his success due to being number 2, and how would you be willing to pay him?
Well, history tells us to be wary of players like Trey Hendrickson that kind of have these breakout seasons, especially in the last year of say, their contract. I can remember a guy, if you remember T-Bob a few years back, Paul Kruger, who I think had a breakout year, very similar kind of player, and cashed in free agency and never really duplicated that kind of year. And I think ended up getting released a couple of years later as a cap casualty. I don't know if I'm in the Saints boat, knowing how they operate. I'm sure that they have a value, a number in mind that they're going to offer Trey Hendrickson, knowing full well that when he gets to the open market, he may get something much better, and they cannot match it. And they will stick to their guns on that. They did it with Mark Ingram. They did it with Von Bell, and I expect them to do it again with Hendrickson, even though he was very productive and he's in his prime, and he's a draft pick that they, found in what, the 4th, 5th round? I'm trying to remember, but
I think I
it's a
read
guy
third earlier today, but I was surprised. I didn't realize it was a third.
No, you're right. 103rd pick, you're right. He's just a guy that I think and you have to look at the rest of the roster too. All these things kind of tie together. You've got Marcus Davenport, who you've heavily invested in, who you still have under contract. Obviously, Cam Jordan coming off of a down year. You have to make that decision too. Is he in decline as a player, or was that just kind of an outlier season? All these things, I think, factor into the Trey Hendrickson decision.
Well, and let's talk about Cam Jordan a bit, because I agree with you. I'll be fascinated to see what happens with Hendrickson on the open market. Like, I too wonder if other teams believe that he is truly that number one, or maybe a team's in a position where they just have a little extra money and they think he's not number one, but they can get him over the hump. We'll see what ends up happening to Hendrickson. But like you said, it is all connected. And one of the main reasons why I wouldn't pay Hendrickson is because I don't know that he necessarily opens things up for his teammates, right? I think that Cam Jordan throughout his career definitely has opened things up with the amount of defensive focus that he commands. But it was a down year. What's Cam Jordan's stock going into next year? Where does he stand in terms of the long-term future of the Saints as you're in this kind of transition period to begin with? And look, he's talked about it as well. He was tweeting a couple weeks ago. Look, he's happy for the guys that are making it the first time. But, he wants a piece of that. He wants to be in that Super Bowl, and he's been so close, and he just keeps falling just short.
Yeah, I think next year is a huge year for Cam Jordan. I mean, and I think he knows that. He's a very smart guy. He understands the economics of the NFL, and his contract, while he's still under contract, really makes him vulnerable, I think, after next season to becoming a cap cut or a restructure or taking a pay cut. But he's going to be with the Saints obviously next year. He's a team leader. He leads by example with how hard he works in the off season, in the meeting rooms. He's a leader, I know. So this is a guy that I think is going to be an all-timer with the Saints. But his production declined pretty dramatically last season. I don't think there's any denying that. And I think they just have to determine, was that just a sign of things to come? More decline in his play going forward, or was it just kind of a blip on the radar? I know Will Smith had a year like this once, T-Bob, late in his career, and then he bounced back with a couple very productive seasons. In some ways, he and Trey Hendrickson are similar. If you go back and follow Cam Jordan's career, I mean, he didn't just come in and set the world on fire.
No.
His first year, and he slowly got better every year. And I think that's the catch with Trey Hendrickson. Is he a guy that's developed under Ryan Nielsen, who's such an outstanding developer of talent along the defensive line? He's a guy that championed Trey Hendrickson coming in, and Nielsen, I think, feels like he can probably continue to get that out of him. But I think you're right. I think sometimes we all get caught up in who's the one pass rusher, who's the number two, and sometimes you just got to reward the guys that bring it every game and produce. And I think that is Trey Hendrickson in the Saints' mind.
Yeah.
But in this cap situation they've got right now, it's real. I know that they can do some things to get under it, but the fact is, when you start talking about a pass rusher in this league and the premium on that talent and that trait, I think he's going to cash in with somebody beyond the Saints in this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a weird thing to try to parse through, right? Going from 0 sacks to 5.5 to 14.5 or 13.5. Like, is that an incredible trajectory, or is that a flash in the pan? I guess only time will tell. We're talking to Jeff Duncan at Jeff Duncan _ catches work on The Athletic. Just wrote Peyton and Breezeman, who built the greatest offense in NFL history. Also on the defensive side of the ball, new face joining the staff, Jeff. Chris Richard, a guy who sat out last year, waiting on a coordinator job. Coordinator job never came. He now replaces Aaron Glenn as the secondaries coach. What's your thoughts on the Richard hire?
Yeah, I love that hire. That's a big-time get for the Saints. I know that Dennis Allen wanted somebody with experience there. He values that position, that coach in his staff, and he was determined to find somebody that had skins on the wall, and Chris Richard has that. I mean, at one time, he was interviewing for head coaching opportunities around the league. Very well thought of, and a guy that has kind of a discipline in a lot of different defensive schemes, which is also important because of the multiplicity that Dennis Allen uses in his defense. They kind of bounce around between different schemes. So I think it was a home run get for them. And to be honest with you, I'd forgotten about Chris Richard. He wasn't on my radar screen. And when I heard the name last week, I thought, wow, that makes perfect sense considering where Aaron Glenn was at in his career to get a veteran guy in there. And look, they've still got a couple more hires to go. And I think we could see some more veteran-type names come in on this staff as well.
Do you have any ideas on who those names might be?
Well, I've got names. I can't reveal them yet, but there's one could be a big name. Let me just put you. Let me tease you that way.
Okay,
could be a big name coming in.
I like it. At Jeff Duncan _ make sure to follow Jeff. Follow his work on The Athletic. And okay, you've piqued my interest, Jeff. Jeff, do you have any interest in going to see Lord of the Rings: Fellowship of the Ring with IMAX and me Saturday night? Being re-released in theaters, first time ever in IMAX?
I would love to see that. Those were the first novels I ever read, T-Bob.
What?
The Lord of the Rings
Come
trilogy. On. Yeah. Hobbit and all. That was like back when I first started getting into reading those novels, when I could sit down and actually have the attention span to dive through them. And they just captured me. It was such incredible writing, and seeing them now on the big screen, I mean, there's just nothing like it. The film work is just spectacular. So I would love to see that, although Saturday night I'm busy, unfortunately.
Well, okay. Yeah, classic how that ended there. The vague, I'm busy. That's great. But look, look. I'm not saying we have to see it together, but just know that it's out there. This weekend and next weekend, they're releasing it in IMAX. It's going to be awesome. Shout out to Professor Tolkien. Shout out to Peter Jackson, the Masters. All right, Jeff, you have a great day. Thank you so much for waking up with us this morning.
Yeah, anytime, T-Bob. You take care, buddy.
Yes, sir. See you, dude. Musa. Jeff,
like how you just throw in there that they're also coming out next weekend too, and you told me that it wasn't.
No. Fellowship is only this weekend, and then Two Towers and Return of the King are next weekend, which seems a bit odd to me because that means they're trying to make me commit to 7 hours on a Saturday. I would have liked to split that up over 3 Saturdays ideally, but it is what it is, Musa. We're going to have to do this Saturday, and then we're going to have to do 7 hours next Saturday.
That's no chance in hell.
I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them.
Nah.
Okay. It's like it's like how I treat the Degeneration Dome. I take the Joseph Smith techniques, right? I say I don't make the rules. I just enforce them. I get the rules from God, but guess what? Only I can talk to God. So hey, it's the rules of the rules. And we'll close out the show. We get back here at OTBOT.
OTB OT. Off the Bench, hanging with Esther and Hanny, after further review and more, are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Happy New Year from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a new Camry for $335 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Join us for a Thursday edition of Jimmy Yacht's Game Time, live from Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. We recap LSU versus Alabama in basketball and look ahead to the Super Bowl on Sunday with some more prop bets. Tune in at 6 p.m., 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Alex Anderson, I want to go see Fellowship in Theater so bad, but I don't think my 9-month pregnant wife would be too happy.
She want to go with you, Alex? That could happen, yeah.
Shout out Lacey. She was like about to pop. It's tough when you're in about to pop mode to carve out
to go
3.5
anywhere,
hours.
To go anywhere.
Yeah, to do that. I got to clear some things on my end, but I am dangerously close to committing to that 7:30 showing on Saturday night. Musso is as well. He's told me during the break.
No, what I told you is, in all honesty, you would have a better chance of getting me there during the day.
Well, we can't, okay, because I have to go speak at my grandfather's funeral on Saturday. Musso, are you happy about that?
I'm not happy about that.
I would love to go see. Well, it sounds like you are.
I'm not. That's actually terrible, and I don't wish that on anybody.
It's going to be a very emotional experience, and rest in peace too, Bobby Joseph Hebert Sr., my namesake, who I get my name from. He was the man, an incredible individual, incredibly tactful individual. LSU bleeds purple and gold. He's the reason why I ended up at LSU. He raised me diehard LSU. I'll never forget our LSU memories growing up, be it going to the Arkansas games over Thanksgiving or be in town. We went to every SEC championship together in Atlanta. He then got to see me play at LSU, which was awesome. I mean, I'll never forget being at that 0-1 game in Atlanta versus Tennessee. Him yelling at Tennessee fans, "Your Roses have winned! Your Roses have winned!" with his very Cajun accent. Some Tennessee fans got mad at us, dumped beer all over us. We didn't care. Met the big ragu outside of the Georgia Dome. So, yeah, incredible memories with my grandfather. So it's going to be an emotional day for me Saturday. And what better way for me to feel better than to go do a nostalgic play Saturday night? And I would love to do it with a friend.
Now he's going to guilt. Now you've given up on peer pressure, and you're just going to try to guilt trip me into it.
I would love to do it with a friend. But, I mean, I guess if you don't want to, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's up to you. But, yeah, let me, for our listeners out there that may be interested, we can maybe make this into a little unofficial OTB event. Let me make sure that I can get a babysitter and everything, get it cleared for Saturday night because I'm hyped. Even though, unfortunately, I did just rewatch Fellowship like 2 weeks ago. I know. Very randomly,
That's
just
so
watched
on brand.
like 2 weeks ago. But I've never seen it in IMAX. And these old movies re-released have a way of blowing your mind. Like I said, in my Star Wars list for years and years, in my Star Wars list, I always had New Hope first, and then I had Empire second, right? And Last Jedi third. Yeah, get triggered, you punks, challenge me. But after seeing Empire in theaters, and I've seen New Hope in theater as well. I watched it live scored at the Singer, which was fantastic a couple of years ago. I do think that Empire is actually the premier Star Wars movie. So I am ecstatic to watch Lord of the Rings on IMAX. And it may be in 4K. I don't know. They just released 4K Ultra HD versions that Peter Jackson actually went in and did some pretty serious work on. So, yeah, well, look, we will confirm it tomorrow if we're going to do that. Danny Cardenas, what's the best thing to sneak into theaters? I used to love to sneak in entire Chinese meals. Go to...
Whoa. How did you do that?
My wife's purse. It was a very big
that's
purse.
That's a huge purse.
It's a big purse. It can fit a lot of stuff. It's basically a bag. So you just go and you go get your Panda Express, and you just stick that down in that bag, and the next thing you know, you're maybe a little stoned watching strangers eating Chinese food, being very scared, but very full and very happy. Okay. Coming up on tomorrow's OTB, will Musso go to Lord of the Rings and help his grieving friend out on Saturday? I guess only time will tell. Great job, Matthew Musso, Danny Cardenas. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. How's that?
OTB, OT.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our